surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Good morning. Sorry we're running a minute behind again. We got to fix that. But you know what? We'll probably be on until 3 o'clock. So what am I doing?
Oh, really?
No, I hope not. I hope that's not the case. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin. Intern Jake is here as well. I hate that it goes this way for him, but sometimes it just sticks. Sometimes. And he's the one who was like, Drew's funny. You deserve what you get, dog. That's the way that it goes. You poke the bear. You encourage him. This is the way it works. Hey, what a night at the baseball game, huh? They
Bark at the park. It looked like a great time out there.
They sure played that baseball game. So
It ended after 4 innings, right? And then
I think people got their flags.
yeah.
I am a mark though. Like I got one of my childhood best friends is coming home this weekend. He lives in well, actually doesn't live in Brooklyn anymore. He lives in northern Jersey. I believe it's Montclair.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Is that or Fair Lawn? Something like that. He lives like where you're looking across
Sopranos land.
You can see New York from his house.
Got it.
Like you can see Manhattan from where he lives, but he lives in New Jersey. So he's coming home, and we are going to. It's a little embarrassing. We are going to the Dave Matthews Band concert on Saturday night.
About that. I mean, Dave Matthews isn't for me, but yeah.
I'm a white man of a certain age, so I spent my years between the ages of 15 and 30. I was the guy that went to many Dave Matthews Band shows every year. Like we would do the thing where we would any show between like Saratoga and North Carolina.
Like what people do with Fish.
We had that going on for a while.
D&B was your Fish.
Yeah, or Grateful Dead.
Okay.
I know there's been a thing. Yeah. So then I had to look myself in the mirror one day and say, what are we doing here? What happened? What happened to you? You're a grown up.
Doesn't sound like there's anything wrong
You
with
do
that.
grown
right?
up things.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah. I just didn't like the association. There were some stereotypes of the Dave Matthews Band crowd, and I was like, I don't think I'm comfortable with that. Although I did fit. So it's been a while, and we said they're playing at Merriweather. Why not? We'll go. So he's coming down. We're going to the Dave Matthews Band show at Merriweather on Saturday, and we are we're gonna go to the Orioles game on Friday. And he texted me last night. He's like, "Hey, when are we meeting up on Friday?" And I was like, "Hey, the funny thing about that is they're giving away this bowling shirt on Friday night, and I want to make sure I get one." And I hate that I'm a mark. Like I hate that.
Well, I got good news. You might not have to.
You
might not
fight
break the
anybody. Yeah,
bobblehead.
right. I don't know. It's a Friday night still, and it's a giveaway that people are interested in.
I'm gonna be there as well Friday.
Yeah, even when
we're getting there early because my aunt is like doing like a sweet thing because it's like an early birthday present.
Oh, look
for
at
me.
you!
Yeah.
Look at everybody! Watch out for Griffin over here.
Anyway, I'm not that pressed about the bowling shirt, so if I get one, and you happen to miss out, I'll cover you.
It's a real issue. Why would you not be excited about the bowling shirt?
Because the Orioles aren't good.
No. Get the F out of here.
And it's not a bobblehead.
Right. Sure. Man, I'm getting that bowling shirt. I know that. I said to him, I'm like, because I said, hey, do you want crabs while you're in town? Like, what?
I want a bowling shirt. That's what he said.
Yeah. No, he actually didn't seem to be as pressed about the bowling shirt as I was. Although, this is a buddy who's like, he's a musician. Like, that's his world. Like, he's a musician. He also has a a big business job and all that. But like legitimate best, like we slept on each other's floors a lot growing up. Like this is a legitimate best friend type. And so knowing him the way that I did, I thought he was going to laugh at me when I talked about the bowling shirt, and he said back, "Oh, I'd like that." And I was like, "Wow, I expect that from you." So I think he's on board, but I had talked to him about, "Hey, you're only home for a couple of days. I don't know what your priorities are." Because his family's still here, so he does try to come home once or twice a year.
And you said, "I'm your family now."
Right, correct, yes. Oh, well, I'm more important, but that's a given. I actually didn't get to see him. I felt bad. I didn't get to see him when he was home for Christmas because, I got the COVID and the neurovirus all at once. I got the big S-kicker where, I was stuck at my house for 10 days or whatever it was. But I said, if you want to go get crabs, if you want to, whatever it is that you want, like, we got you. And, but I said, but not on Friday night. Not Friday afternoon, by all means. You say, "Hey, I really want crabs." Great, we'll go at 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. We'll go get some crabs. But we're not going at 5. That's not happening because that impacts my ability to get a bowling shirt. And I wish that I wasn't a mark like this. I wish that I could say,
it's great being a mark.
This is a cheaply made thing that I could probably get a knockoff version of for like $5 on the internet.
Oh, Tippy Martinez and Larry Sheets will be there signing autograph.
Ah, aha.
So since you'll be getting there early anyway,
sure.
Sign the bowling shirt.
No, although I do love Larry Sheets. That's my guy. I don't know. You know what's funny? I've talked to Tippy a million times in my life, but I wouldn't say that I know Tippy. Like, we're not. I don't think I'm friends with Tippy Martinez, which now disappoints me. I guess I should change that moving forward. I guess it starts Friday night. But yeah, I'm that guy. Anyway, none of this has anything to do with the baseball game last night, which sucked.
Grayson's a bobblehead on a Saturday.
I cannot go on Saturday because we're going to the Dave Matthews Band show. So
see, your priorities are kind of backwards, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Grayson bobblehead is where you
maybe
your whole weekend.
Maybe I just want a bobblehead of someone who actually plays.
He'll play at some point.
I hope.
Once they're 40 games under.
I don't know. What do you want me to say about last night? For a minute, they were doing like baseball things. For a minute, they were station to station, moving runners over, plating runs. You're like, hey, this looks kind of baseball-y. That's fun. And then they stopped doing that. They fell behind. They faced a little bit of adversity. And it was what it was. So the good vibes of the 3-game win streak are completely out the window. Got that going for him. I maintain all the things that I have continued to say. And look, we'll run it by. Erik Kratz from Foul Territory is going to join us in a little bit, former big league catcher. I'll run by and see what he thinks about the idea of hiring a manager. It's the crazy part to me is I keep talking to people about it. Like, well, you don't do that. And then they suggest a manager who's available. Like there's a weird Venn diagram of people who don't think you should hire a manager in season and think that you should hire Skip Schumacher. And I'm like, what?
Why wait?
What am I missing here? If you think Skip Schumacher is a good candidate, why wouldn't you hire him today? And again, the answer might very well be that Skip Schumacher doesn't want the job. And I've had two different. Will Leach on this show suggested that. I don't know if Will knows Skip Schumacher. I mean, I know he's a huge Cardinals fan, but I don't know if Will, because of what he does with MLB, has any relationship with Skip Schumacher. But I reached out to two people who know Skip Schumacher, and both of them told me they didn't know if he would want the job. I think it was Kirkjian who brought up the idea of Skip Schumacher just might be positioning himself that he expects Bruce Bochy to retire at the end of the year, and when Bruce Bochy retires, he'll slide in and take the Rangers job, an organization that has shown willingness to spend money in a big market and obviously has a lot of pieces already that you would like. I could see why that would be desirable to him if he knows that Bruce Bochy intends to retire. If he doesn't know that Bruce Bochy intends to retire, then that's a different conversation. But short of that, if Skip Schumacher would be willing to take the Orioles job at the end of the year, what are we doing here? I like Ryan Flaherty too, but ultimately I've told you that I don't think Ryan Flaherty is the correct person for this job in this unique moment.
Right.
If for some reason, the Orioles were, I don't know, to turn over their general manager and say, hey, we tried and we failed in the rebuild. We've got to try something completely different. I don't know. Maybe, boy, you hate the thought of that, but I guess I could be more inclined to listen on Ryan Flaherty at that point. And if it ends up being Ryan Flaherty, then I hope he's ready. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to say, Ryan, this is not hot take G. Oh, Ryan Flaherty would be a disaster for this organization. It's just not.
That's a good segment.
Yeah. Oh, hot take G.
Yeah.
Do I have to do like an Ali G voice?
We could even go back and forth, right? Because we're both G's. So
that's a good point, right? The hot take G's over here. I had a hot take the other day. What was the hot take that I had?
That you would rather go to Dave Matthews over the Grayson bobblehead?
No, that's not.
That's up there.
I only feel mildly about it.
Your lemonade chip like this.
Apparently, that was a hot take because a lot of people didn't tend to agree with me. I stand by it. That's a product worth making. This is the other thing I respect about it's part of why it's doing something that's a little bit different.
Okay, sure,
and
fair,
and going for it and coming away with a flavor that's worthwhile, and that's what I thought the lemonade chips were.
Worthwhile.
It's okay for you to be wrong. I will fight to the death for your right to be wrong. I want to live in a country where we can be wrong. It's okay. I don't want to say I respect you because, why would I start now?
Wait a minute.
Yeah. What? I'm sorry?
You don't?
Huh?
Well, you don't like you
say what
think
now?
The lemonade chip is good. So
yes.
that's I mean,
you're
You're fighting. I get it. You're fighting for your right to be wrong about.
No. You're the one.
No.
Moral of the story being, I'm not saying that Ryan Flaherty would be a disaster. This is not me trying to yell from what a mess this would be if you hire Ryan Flaherty. I have no idea. I just don't think that's what I'm looking for in a manager right now. And the first thing that I'm looking for is a manager. I am your manager. That's what I'm looking for. Unless you want to find the guy that runs Pop Copy, and I might want to talk to him. I want a manager. I want someone who can be accountable. Not that I think that things are changing this year. I don't. I told you that when they won 3 straight games. I don't think anything is changing this year. Really, in like a tangible way that's going to matter and get them into contention. I do think things could change to the point where by the end of the year, you're like, boy, there are some signs that maybe they might remember how to baseball. Adley Rutschman came back last night and it looked like someone who shouldn't have been back. I mean, just non-competitive. He finished with 3 strikeouts, correct?
Yes, 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts.
And never at any point looked like someone who was going to be helpful. The example number 1 of why I believe they need a manager is someone has to be responsible for Adley Rutschman. Because if you hire a manager in the offseason and it takes him 6 months to figure it out with Adley Rutschman, you're now a year away from free agency. Someone has to be responsible for Adley Rutschman at this point. Judged by Adley Rutschman. It's that much of a disaster. And maybe ultimately the answer is going to be he's never going to be the guy that we thought he was when he started his career. Maybe that's the way it's going to go. I guess there's some world where Adley Rutschman could still just wake up next week and be Adley Rutschman again. But that's kind of what we've been saying for the last 10 months. And it hasn't happened yet. I want a manager because I want someone whose priority is to say, I know the baseball team's not going to win the World Series this year, but we have to put ourselves in position to look like a baseball team again next year. And I'm going to bring a group of people in And because of my success, because of the things that I've accomplished, I'm going to carry an amount of weight that matters to Adley Rutschman, and he's going to be inclined to listen to me. And maybe that still won't fix him. But I need somebody to take a shot at that. Because I had to watch Adley Rutschman again last night. I guess I didn't have to. I guess I could choose at this point to not watch the games. Although the basketball game sure as hell wasn't worth watching.
No.
I didn't even look at the hockey game. Was it ever worth watching?
It was good for it. It was kind of back and forth. Let's see what Carolina went up 2-0.
Okay.
And then
that sounds like a game that was worth watching.
And then all of a sudden, because I remember I switched over for some godforsaken reason back over to the basketball.
Okay.
While it was a 40-point game.
Yeah.
And then I switched back over.
And Minnesota started pulling their players like in the third quarter. Like, it was fun, guys.
And then I switched back over to the hockey game, and Florida scored 3 straight, in a 5-minute period.
They do that.
I was like, oh my god,
they do that.
And then
They're very good at
Carolina did tie it, and then Florida but held on.
So it sounds like that should have been my viewing choice.
It was the best game of the night.
Yeah, it sounds like that's the way that I should have gone, and I did not.
Well, Marlins Padres was back and forth last night.
I was never going to be watching Marlins Padres.
If you wanted to really watch something really good,
to be what was going.
Are you not a big hockey guy?
No, I would. We had this conversation before. I don't have a team, and because I don't have a team now, it's just I'm less. One, the NBA will always win out over the NHL for me. I'm more basketball than I am hockey.
Wow.
Unless my team is involved.
I guess the best thing to watch yesterday was Tommy Paul.
Yeah, the Tommy Paul, right? Yeah, Griffin was all over that. He was like, I'm going to throw a live bet in on Tommy Paul. I'm like, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? Sure enough. Down
2-0.
It was I can't remember.
Well, he was down 5-3 in the third set.
And he had to break to stay alive in the match. And sure enough, that was the fourth, I think.
Oh, was that the fourth? Oh, okay.
Still, winner, chicken dinner. And Francis Tiafoe was a winner again yesterday. So we got that going for us, which is something. They wouldn't trade the baseball for that.
What, Tommy Paul winning his second round? Was it second round?
Ever. Yeah. This we'll do a stay of execution. I gave it over the weekend because they won 3 straight. We will revisit again on Monday.
So every time they win a game, it's going to extend. Once they
go
0-6 a week,
it requires them to have to win the series. If they lose the series to the White Sox,
it's over.
It's gone.
Okay,
it's gone. But I kind of like the idea of putting the pressure on them. I kind of like the idea of, you boys want your heads on a wall? Better go win a series this weekend. If they win the series, maybe we revisit the following Monday, right? Like it becomes a Monday thing moving forward. I don't have confidence in their ability even to win a series against the White Sox. I have no confidence in their ability to do anything. So
yeah,
it's very 50-50 to me whether we see this board next Monday or not. But I think that's the way it's going to go, is that every Monday we revisit to see whether it's worth looking at the board again.
White Sox pitching staff has been good, too. So
we're
going to miss Shane Smith, though. He's been their best starter.
If you say so.
But Sean Burke is pitching. I think he's supposed to pitch tomorrow night.
Maryland legend Sean Burke slated to go. So I'm sure he won't be hot and bothered. Although he's not from here. Somebody brought that up.
He might be, though.
Basically, the Maryland basketball roster is now full, and there's no one even remotely close to local on the roster. And I don't know how I feel about that, because my first thought is, well, are they going to win? Like, if they're going to win, then I kind of don't care about that. And I can certainly understand when you have to piece together an entire basketball roster in the span of a couple of weeks. I get it. Would it have been nice to keep the steal back, what's-his-face, Chris Jeffrey? Like, it would have been nice. But I understand, right? Like, when Mark Turgeon replaced Gary Williams, he was able to keep Sean Mosley at the time. But Gary Williams was retiring. He wasn't going somewhere else.
Right.
That
was also still kind of close.
Yeah. So I think that there were a few Maryland fans are making the point that it's not okay if Buzz Williams' plan is to ignore D.C., Baltimore in favor of the places that he knows better, right? Like to try to find talent.
Midwest.
That we will not have the same connection for as much as it's about winning, it did mean more that it was Derek Queen and that it was like there were local guys, Jameer Young 2 years ago. It means more to these two markets that there are local guys that are succeeding. That's the way it's supposed to be. For 1 year, and given the unique circumstances of having to recruit an entire roster, entire that's not fair because he brought 4 guys from Texas A&M. So 9 guys in a very short amount of time. I can be willing to give a pass that this year's roster, the closest players are from New Jersey. But yeah, moving forward, you need to make some inroads around here. Like, you need to prove that you can connect with the coaches in this area and that you can create relationships. And I get it, it's a little bit different because it's still going to be about, spending money and all those things. But this year, I'm not as worked up as some Maryland fans were. There was a basketball game at the arena last night. I cannot lie to you and tell you that I watched any of it, although I was watching lots of coverage on Twitter. There were a lot of, clearly all of the local reporters made their plans to be there for Caitlin Clark, and then were like, well,
go see a basketball game.
We decided we were going to be here, so we'll just stick around and we'll be here anyway. You know what I had totally forgotten, and I feel bad. Maybe we try to make this up. I had forgotten that Mystics coach Sydney Johnson isn't from here, but actually went to high school here. Went to Towson Catholic. I don't think he played. I think he was a little bit after Mello. I don't think that they were together. But I had totally forgotten about that, so maybe we try to catch up with him again at some point. The Mystics won, so if you're a Washington Mystics fan, I guess you feel good about that. I got the sense from all of the videos that I was seeing from there that it was obviously more people that were there rooting for the Fever because of Caitlin Clark than it was displaced Mystics fans or somehow the Mystics reaching out to Baltimore and creating a fan base. Tough to do without a local player on the like if the Mystics had Angel Reese, completely different conversation. I think they would have great success marketing to Baltimore. But in the same way that the Wizards have never actually been able to market to Baltimore, despite the fact that the Wizards actually have had some legendary Baltimore basketball play, even Will Barton in recent years. There is just not this connection. The only thing that's ever transcended in a small way is Alex Ovechkin, transcended in a small way. If Caitlin Clark played for the Mystics, there would be interest in Baltimore for the Mystics because there'd be interest everywhere.
Just even when Elena Del Don was there, it was still
there was mild interest, right? If Elena Del Don had gone to Maryland,
right,
and been Elena Del Don,
but still because she was one of the best players in the league.
She was, but it was still mild, right? It was right. That's
now if Kiki Arifin becomes
she's a very nice player,
a star.
Yeah, it would have to be star of stars,
right.
And that's a very difficult thing to do.
Is she going to be able to get to Angel and Caitlin's level?
Well, that's almost impossible because it was such a unique moment in the history of the sport that I don't know. I mean, Paige Beckers is probably a star right now. So if Paige Beckers was a Mystic, there would be, but it would still be more. Oh boy, it's weird. I almost feel like I need to stop. I am really disappointed in Christine Brennan. This is a weird kind of one-way internet fight that I found myself in. She has not responded more than once or twice. I was a big fan of USA Today sports writer Christine Brennan. I thought she was an outstanding writer. She was very involved in the Larry Nassar controversy at Michigan State. She's covered a lot of really important topics that go beyond playing fields or courts or ice or anything like that. Christine Brennan is writing a book about Caitlin Clark. And because of that, she has apparently lost her mind and has lost any perspective about Caitlin Clark. She went on a crusade about how shameful it was that Caitlin Clark didn't make the Olympics team last year. Now, Christine Brennan, of course, is too good of a reporter to have not done the work that other reporters did, which is that USA Basketball had said, we're going to pick players who are in our camp. And it said to Caitlin Clark, if you want to prioritize the Olympics and you want to go to the national team camps, we're happy to have you. But that could disrupt your college basketball schedule. And Caitlin Clark, and she came damn close, really wanted to win a national championship at Iowa. And so she prioritized trying to win a national championship at Iowa over being part of the USA basketball camps. And so USA Basketball said, okay, we understand. We hope you're with us the next time. But certain people, because they live in a I only see Caitlin Clark world, just thought that USA Basketball should say, the hell with your rules. She's famous. Put her on the team. And to be clear, it didn't take long into her WNBA career to recognize that she probably was worthy of being considered one of the top 15 American basketball players. But at the point where they announced the team, she wasn't there. They would have had to have just said, sorry, you earned your spot, but we're not giving it to you because the internet wants this person. Which would be a shameful way for an organization like that to operate. But the argument is, well, you should just do it anyway because you don't understand how important the internet is.
And now I
Which, to be fair, maybe the USA boxing team should have put Logan Paul on it, right? Like, maybe they should have sent Logan Paul to the Olympics.
Jake Paul. He's the famous one.
Is that who it is? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Logan Paul's the best.
Logan's
right?
WWE.
He's the WWE.
Oh, they could. Maybe he should be on the wrestling team. You're right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they
You're
should
right.
do. Is that what we should? And I don't say this to be flip because I understand that and Caitlin Clark is a dramatically better basketball player than Jake Paul is a boxer. I'm not trying to actually make that comparison. But the point is, a reasonable person without blinders on could report and do the work and figure out how this happened and why it did make sense. But for whatever reason, Christine Brennan, a journalist who I've respected greatly, can't do it. And Christine Brennan wrote another piece yesterday about how the treatment of Caitlin Clark from the WNBA has been awful. She's shining a light on the league. And yet the story that she wrote provided anecdotal evidence of why that's not true. Because the first 3 paragraphs of the story were about people who intended to go to last night's game but decided not to because Caitlin Clark wasn't going to be there. And that's kind of the problem that the WNBA is dealing with right now, which is there is a great deal of attention on Caitlin Clark, but it exists in a vacuum. The people that are paying attention to Caitlin Clark are not then saying, and I also discovered A'ja Wilson, who, with respect, is a better basketball player than Caitlin Clark, is the actual best basketball player in the WNBA, and saying, wow, this is great, I'm going to watch this. Those people are saying, I'm going to watch Caitlin Clark or nothing. It's not a tide rising all ships. It's a very specific, and for a lot of you, very weird, very fetishized obsession with one person and unwillingness. The same people that adore Caitlin Clark, and it's not everyone because there are plenty of very normal people that also love Caitlin Clark, but many of the same people that adore Caitlin Clark and pay attention to everything she's doing also constantly trash the league that she plays in. It's this bizarro world, man. The WNBA sucks. I only like Caitlin Clark. She plays in the what? It is psychotic behavior. And I don't know what the league does about it. Christine Brennan's mad that the league wouldn't give her a statement about Caitlin Clark not playing in the game. What the F is the league supposed to say? Yes. I mean, what? Like asking as if someone when someone passes away, like if a legendary figure passes away. Who's a legendary figure that passed away recently? When Brooks Robinson passed away recently, journalists will reach out to organizations that they will reach out. Hey, did the Orioles have a statement about the passing of Brooks Robinson? Did the I'm trying to think of
Jim Irsay, sure.
Jim Irsay passed away. Do other owners have statements about the passing of Jim Irsay? Yeah. Christine Brennan wrote a column essentially suggesting that WNBA should have released a death statement because Caitlin Clark got injured for a couple of weeks. It's truly weirdo behavior. Now, good for Caitlin Clark. She showed up at the game. She signed autographs for fans that came. I mean, she appeared to try to have a presence anyway, recognizing that, a lot of people spent a lot of money because they wanted to come see her. Good for her. If she hadn't done that, that would have been fine too. Because it's not her fault that people are expending extraordinary amounts of money on these tickets, and then she gets hurt. She doesn't have any control over that. Do you think Caitlin Clark wants to be hurt? We're the problem. This is what I talk about with media literacy. Like, you can be mad at the people that make fake Twitter accounts, but sometimes it's on you. Sometimes you've got to take responsibility. Like, I definitely should have realized that said Buster Horny and not Buster Only.
Ooh, is that account taken?
I have no idea. That's on you. And your sick obsession with one player that you're not willing to just watch basketball is on you. The people that went appeared to have a good time last night. That's great.
Looked like a good game. It was close.
As I've said a million times, if Baltimore had a WNBA team, I would be invested. It's like the hockey thing that we just talked about. I don't have a team. Now, I do in the WNBA. I root for the Mercury. I do, because I worked for them once upon a time. But I don't get to watch their games every night. I wouldn't be able to come on and talk about it because you guys don't care. Unless
you made us care.
Unless things keep going like this for the baseball team, in which case we might do a Mighty Merc segment every week.
Mighty Mercs. Was that a segment you guys had?
No, we didn't do a segment.
Did they call them the Mighty Mercs?
Some of us did. There were people that not the Mighty Mercs, the Mighty Merc.
Oh, okay.
The Mighty Merc. Mercury. They're not the Mercuries. If there was a team in Baltimore, I'd be all in. I'd love it. Same thing I'd say about the MLS. I don't watch any MLS ever. Ever, other than when DC United hired me to call the games. When they did that, then I was watching the MLS. And I was like, wow, Thierry Henry's in this league. That's cool. Like, don't get me wrong. When I was calling a Thierry Henry game, I was like, wow, what a time.
You just light up every time you touch the ball. Ooh.
Dude, if you heard my voice, I hope that I never find audio of that game because I don't know if I think it was one of the ones that I had to do from the studio.
Plays it up to Jackson. Henry's got it.
I swear to God, the moment it got to Thierry Henry's foot, it's like, am I going to make the call Thierry Henry goal? Holy hell. So excited.
He's at midfield. Why not? Why not? Come on.
Yeah. Just shoot it. I don't even remember if he scored a goal in the game that I called. That's the crazy part. I don't even remember. It's a long time ago.
I feel like you would, right? Like
you would think that I would remember that, but I don't know why. I don't remember. Brian Powell probably remembers. Brian Powell. If I ever have questions about my own career, I need Brian Powell to fill in the dots for me. Love you, buddy. But if there was an MLS team in Baltimore, I would watch constantly. I would take my kids. I'd be invested. Without one, I'm not. When the Whipsnakes start playing games here, I'll watch. I even try to watch Whipsnakes games, even though they don't play many of them here. I try to watch them every week. I'm a very simple person. Sports are regional to me. If there's a team, I'm in. You're not going to get me to be a Mystics fan because they came up and played a game here. Like, that's neat. But I'd be as interested in that as I would be if the Fever played the Valkyries.
Which would be more interested if they're playing the Chicago Sky.
Well, I'd be dramatically more interested if they're playing the Chicago Sky. Cheyenne Sellers didn't stick with the Valkyries, did she?
No, she got, unfortunately...
But didn't she end up with, like, Atlanta?
Yeah, and then she also got waived by them as well.
Oh, my. So. What is going on there? She'll prove them wrong. They'll learn their lesson. They'll learn their lesson. Look, it looked to be I'm all for big events in Baltimore. I'm all for reasons to fill an arena. I think that's great, and it helps the businesses downtown. It seemed like everybody had a good time last night. It wasn't a filled arena because there was no Caitlin Clark, but there were a lot of people there despite the fact that Caitlin Clark wasn't there. So that's a good thing. I want there to be one of those every night. When there's a a Latin music concert, and I've never heard of the performer, but it brings a lot of people to Baltimore. That's it. Oh, hello. Good thing.
Glad you got that out.
Phew. I don't know what's going to happen next, so I think we should take a break, and then we'll talk to Erik Kratz. Because who knows? There could be more of those. Today's show brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. Looks like I didn't realize this poker event that we're doing next Saturday, there are some big money giveaways involved in this thing. Like big money giveaways involved in this poker event. I kind of can't believe what I'm seeing. They're just on top of the poker tournament, they're doing like cash drawings during the day. There are envelopes. Some of those envelopes have $400 in them. Some have $500 in them. Some have $1,000 in them.
Oh.
Some of them have $2,500 in them.
I'll take that
4 envelopes have $2,500 in them. 10 envelopes will have $1,000 in, and they're just doing drawings throughout the day. Plus, football tickets, baseball tickets, BMW championship tickets. Like, it's going to be a big day of giveaways. Next Saturday, you're going to want to join us at Live Casino and Hotel. Got more details coming in the course of the next week. Erik Kratz, former MLB catcher, foul territory. He joins us next. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas combos, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious filling sandwiches, including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles' top prospect Samuel Basayo. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, couple of things. One,
you gonna address the allegations?
This is bizarre. I've watched lots of hockey playoffs. Lots of them.
Name one.
Yeah, right. If I had a team, I'd watch a lot more. I don't. And because of that, it really... When the Orioles were in their not trying years, I watched gobs of playoff hockey because I would just choose to leave out the Orioles. When I had to pick hey, what am I going to put on one screen? What am I going to put on another screen? I just have a limited number of screens and attention that I can give to things.
So buy more screens, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what the answer is.
Be like a real person and buy 8 TVs.
Hockey loses out to the Orioles and to the NBA. It's third on the list. Now, like, for example, if the basketball series ends tonight and
so you don't know the teams.
And Dallas were to beat Edmonton, then where do you think my attention would? Well, that would be Saturday night, wouldn't it? Nope, I'm at the Dave Matthews Band show. Sorry, I wouldn't be watching.
Come on, you've done
There's
it
a Game
before.
7, however, on Monday night.
You've done it before. Hold on.
Yeah.
John just said Glenn doesn't know puck.
John, get out of here. If there was a Game 7 on Monday night, I would 1,000% watch that. Plus, the Orioles are off on Monday night, I think. Yeah. So there would be no completely undistracted on Monday night. During the Stanley Cup Finals, the games are on nights that the NBA is not on. So I will absolutely be watching during the Stanley Cup Finals. But it's just the nature of there's only so many things that can get my attention at once. And right now, I'm still the sucker that hasn't given up on the Orioles. Watching me. I've given up on their hopes. I just haven't given up on
And you're
watching.
dragging me along with you, so I have to watch too, which is
it's my fault. That's
it is. I'd be done with them by
now. And then 2, you would know what my review is of the Popeyes pickle glazed sandwich and lemonade if you had watched or listened to Rita and Glenn this week.
Oh, you did the lemonade as well.
YouTube.com/@Rita and Glenn. Or just search Rita and Glenn on YouTube. Or I posted it at the website, glennclarkradio.com. Or it's in the greatest hits if you want to listen. We used those for I'm Into It this week. So, not giving it away just yet. Go find it there. Had to do this a little bit earlier on because of his broadcast schedule, but an opportunity to catch up with one of our favorites, Erik Kratz, right here on GCR.
Well, it's a pleasure as always to join that.
Okay, we'll try it a different way.
That's weird. Don't know what happened there, but boy, I'm glad we're gonna.
In the meantime,
how are we gonna get these kinks worked out, Griffin? How are we gonna? Are you still signed into Zoom over there? Is that part of the problem?
No, it's
record that way.
I did. Yeah, I think so, but over here it did not. So we'll be okay.
do you play video games?
What's that?
You play video games?
No. I used to. Professional broadcasts. That's what we do here. This is going to be a big pitch. I'm sure today's the day that the TV network tuned in and said, gotta have that. Gotta have that show. We good?
I gotta reset.
Couple
myself.
seconds. Couple seconds.
Yeah. Just waiting for it to load here, and then we'll be all set. I can't wait.
So, would you play the new college football video game, Glenn?
I was a younger man, yes.
What?
We played it once on the show.
Yeah, we did.
You didn't enjoy it?
It's not that I don't enjoy it. I don't have the time.
He doesn't have the hand-eye coordination.
I have 2 kids. I got to throw batting practice.
Well,
I just don't have the time to be.
Bigger fish to fry.
This is the reality of my life. I work 75 jobs. I've got to pad time while Griffin figures out how to play the clip.
I'm trying to help.
I just don't have time for. This would be a great time to be playing a college football. I clearly have 90 seconds here where I could be playing a college football video game. It's going to back us up. I had timed it out perfectly to lead into the next guest. Now that's going to be screwed up. I got stuff.
I understand.
I got problems, man.
Did you see the Diggs video?
I did see that. I would be concerned, yes, but to be fair, he didn't show him using the.
No, he was just applying.
But that's not good.
No.
That's not good. Although maybe it was on international waters. Maybe it's I don't know. Not good.
You just
not
don't pull
good.
you don't pull your phone out and record on those type of situations.
A couple of people have brought that up. Did he not notice?
No, I think he knew.
You think he wanted people to see him?
I think he was just like flexing.
Providing.
I think he thought the video would never come out, and I thought that this is something cool that like my friends are gonna see. So.
Are you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm making sure it was good.
Test run.
Yeah.
I almost don't even want to do it at this point. Like legitimately at the point where I'm like, maybe we just bag it. Maybe we just.
All right, we're ready.
It was
and
a
by
good
that
interview.
I mean the show. Erik Kratz. Oh God.
I don't know what is going on actually now.
What is happening here? Wait.
All right, ready?
No. Oh my God!
Well, it's a pleasure, as always, to be joined now here on GCR by the host of Foul Territory. He is a buddy of ours, former MLB catcher, Mr. Erik Kratz, with us now on the program once again. Erik, it's Glenn. I'm going to ask you how things are going. You might say back that you know how things are going in Baltimore, but how's everything going with you?
Everything's going great with me. The other part of your question, not so well.
Yeah. It's times are tough. Times are tough, to say the least. Erik, I need your opinion because I trust you. You're an educated man. You know many things. You have many leather-bound books. I need to know. I feel like this is in the territory of completely rudderless. And while I know that you want to hire a manager in the offseason because you want the deepest pool of candidates that you can possibly have, I am genuinely worried about the impact of it being this much of a mess and continuing with a lame duck interim manager for the rest of the year, and that it feels like it doesn't get better. And I'm of the opinion that you need to get a manager in place now. Am I crazy to think that way?
Yes, you're crazy to think that way. You're not crazy to think it hasn't turned around and you've seen what's happening on the field. You know, even some, in my opinion, some questionable usages out of the bullpen. Close games don't mean you're winning the game, and you're using the mountain in the game, and then he's not available when you are winning. There's definitely some questionable things, but anybody can question when a team has less than 20 wins at this point in the season. You're questioning, a lot of decisions. And I would still say you're crazy. You don't want to try to find your manager now. You don't have the full pool of people. You have a lot of people that are going to step up and be like, ooh, me. I want to, but right now you just have to, you got to iron a few more things out. You got to iron out what's exactly happening with this lineup. You got to iron out as an organization where players are playing, because if you try to iron that out with your new manager and you're trying to figure that out on the fly with that new manager during this season where there's already a rain cloud, pun intended, since there's rain clouds over Baltimore right now, that you're bringing him into a situation that's not void of issues. And I don't know, honestly, as an organization, that Mike Elias is going to be there. And if you want Mike Elias as the person hiring this new manager, then you're kind of committing to him and his inability to make, 100% off-season decisions with the money that you're spending as an ownership.
So I agree with that part of it strongly. I guess my concern on the front end, Erik, is you're already into arbitration years with Adley Rutschman, and it's a disaster, and it's been a disaster for almost a full season's worth of baseball at this point. And Gunnar Henderson enters arbitration years next year. I'm not trying to be panicked about the proverbial clock, but I feel like we're in this position because of a lack of urgency, as you allude to with Mike Elias. At some point, can this get fixed with Adley Rutschman without there being an entire new staff at this point to try to work with him and figure this out? Because if it doesn't, what is Adley Rutschman at the end of the year?
I would say, and this is probably where my ex-player, non-scout eye would say, I'll bet on Adley Rutschman. Will I bet on him with a long-term contract? No, I don't need to. Would I bet on him to rebound to his all-star form? Yes. There are things in players' lives that can affect the game in general. And I'm not saying that's the case for Adley. I'm saying that baseball is not just a linear thing. And when you're an all-star and you don't have a catastrophic injury, you don't have a drop-off like Adley Rutschman has. He is and we're only talking about Adley, we're not talking about Gunnar, he is a product of results right now. And when you're the leader, you're middle of the order guy, you're supposed to be a table setter, and the results don't come, people are like, well, he's cooked. He's done. It's a full season, like you said. I get it. I'm not blind to that, but I'm also not blind to what he is as a player. I'm not going to say track record because people will be like, wow, well, your track record is, he's hitting 210, and, you were even a crappy 210 hitter, and I was. But I promise that if you're going to take a flyer on a guy that's going to bounce back, Adley Rutschman would be the guy, and I wouldn't be in panic mode because of him. You're leaning a lot with the organization on him, but I wouldn't be in panic.
He is Erik Kratz. He's with us here on GCR. Eric, the question you asked before, based on the way you asked it, I'm assuming that you don't think that Mike Elias deserves the opportunity to try to fix this.
This is why organizations, this is why GMs say, whoa, we're not really able to contend yet. This prospect's going to be 5 to 7 years, because every time they say that, the clock gets pushed back 5 to 7 years. Even look back 2.5 years ago when Jorge Lopez got traded as their closer, and they were a surging team with a hot Adley Rutschman.
Yep.
That you looked at it and you go, what? All that was for Mike Elias was him putting his stake in the ground 5 years from then. And that was in my opinion, a misstep, because that was his chance. I'm not saying he goes all in that year, but whoa boy, he was like a 2-year-old who has like 3 toys in his hands, sees 3 more toys, goes to pick them up, sees 3 more toys, goes to pick those up, and he's like, I want all the toys. Oh wait, now I have no hands to play with them. And in my opinion, you can't get that kind of leash and keep giving yourself a leash, which he's done. He built up the Astros program system, and he's kind of lived on that, but he didn't execute what ended up making them winners. And you need to be able to help your team once you execute and build up this system, which is a huge value galore. As baseball, the term is now surplus value. Oh, prospects, so much surplus value. In my opinion, this was his misstep, and his misstep started 2.5 years ago.
I don't disagree with that part whatsoever. I would say I get the sense that the Orioles are not inclined at the moment to move on from Mike Elias. With that said, if that's the case, my opinion has been that means that the next manager needs to be someone with, I don't know, a bit more cachet. I think it needs to be someone with experience and who has found success, because I think that person needs to be in better position to push back and to check the general manager and the front office in general moving forward. I know a lot of people are excited about the prospect of former Oriole Ryan Flaherty, who a beloved utility guy, and I get that he's hot on the list, but it feels to me like this guy needs to be someone who has a bit more power the day that they walk in.
I'm not saying anything against Flaherty. That dude he's a mediocre legend in Baltimore because of what he did, because of the connections he made with fans and just his role as a player. I've heard nothing but great about him as a future manager, 100%. If you're Baltimore and you're not trading one of your big 3, like established big league guys as a, quote, rebuild, you can't hire a manager that has zero dirt in his managerial turfs. You need a manager who, and I'm not saying you need a grizzled manager. I'm saying you need someone exactly what you said. Someone that will not just check the organization, but be able to have a voice. And I don't know that Mike Elias is, front office. I don't know anything about them, because Mike's he's a forward-facing front of the organization, but they can't have people who have all the answers. You can't have a front office that will say, okay, our new manager, you have to listen to what we say. We're sending the lineup down. This is what we're doing. Or the organization's going to keep spinning in the same direction. If that is what's happening, and they had Brandon Hyde by the proverbial lineup card, then you sit there and you go, what are we changing? And that was my issue with the whole Manzo becoming the manager. What are we changing? What is your focus? What are you going to do that you saw? Because you were on this bench. You were there. What is going to change? And his answer was, I'll get back to you in a few days. Huh?
Right.
What? How is that your approach? And how is that as the GM, the guy that you're like, 100%, that's what we're doing? No. And then Mike Elias went into that will say, okay, our new manager, you have to listen to what we say. We're sending the lineup down. This is what we're doing. Or the organization's going to keep spinning in the same direction. If that is what's happening, and they had Brandon Hyde by the proverbial lineup card, then you sit there and you go, what are we changing? And that was my issue with the whole Manzo becoming the manager. What are we changing? What is your focus? What are you going to do that you saw? Because you were on this bench. You were there. What is going to change? And his answer was, I'll get back to you in a few days. Huh?
Right.
What? How is that your approach? And how is that as the GM, the guy that you're like, 100%, that's what we're doing? No. And then Mike Elias went into hiding for 3 days too.
Right. Didn't mean. Yep.
This isn't the time to hide. This isn't the time to hide. You hid for 5 years building up this organization. You hid because you hid behind the other ownership's lack of spending. You hid behind a lot of things. It's not the time to hide. Baltimore wants a winner, and if you're not the one to give it to them, you need a manager that's willing to step up and be like, you know what? I want this managerial job because we're going to win next year. Not because, oh, man, I can't believe I'm a big league manager. Like, wowie zowie, I can't believe it. It's so awesome.
Admittedly, these are some of the reasons why I'm inclined to want a manager in place ASAP, but I get what you're saying. Eric, if I wrap with this, we know some of the guys that are available. They're the ones that are available now. Skip Schumacher and, David Ross, Joe Girardi, Buck Showalter perhaps. But, I've speculated a little bit out loud about, could Torey Lovullo be in this conversation given how things have gone in Arizona and what that might look like? Is there someone to you that is a kind of perfect fit for what we're talking about that the Orioles need?
Ironically, it was the first and last name that you said. Skip Schumacher and Torey Lovullo. Torey, he has managed in the AL East. That's a huge, huge positive for him. But he's not going anywhere in Arizona. I get it. They're struggling. I get it. There's, some missteps, different things. He would turn the organization into a aggressive, win now, hard, the hard knocks or the hard love that you need to, the tough love is what I was thinking of, tough love that you need to give young players. And I think some of these guys would totally respond to him because he's got that cachet. But I don't think he's going anywhere. Arizona wants to contend. They put their money where their mouth is, unlike the Orioles.
Yep.
Back Burns. But anyway, they want to win, and the thing that they want is a guy like Skip Schumacher who cares deeply about his players, guy that's available as long as the Cardinals don't take him, because I don't see what the Cardinals is doing as being a thing, but maybe they stick with it and they stick with Ollie. But Skip to me is the number one candidate and would be awesome in Baltimore.
Eric, what's coming up on Foul Territory?
Oh, baby. I mean, we got let's see. I know I should look at the guest list. I haven't looked at the guest list for today. Our guest picker is hard at work, but I know we have Topper, Rob Thompson coming on the show, manager of the Phillies. We'll talk about how much better looking I am than AJ Przinsky. We will probably not talk about the Orioles.
Well, why
I
would
watched
you?
some of their game yesterday.
Yeah, whoa,
and
I'm sorry.
It is just not. It's not great to watch.
No, it sure isn't. It sure isn't, Eric. But we're gonna keep doing it anyway. At Erik Kratz 31 is how you follow him. Of course, Foul Territory TV as well. Eric, you're the best, brother. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning. Let's talk again real soon. All right.
Absolutely. Let me know.
It's Erik Kratz, and I love Erik Kratz. Everybody knows that. That's my guy, but I would say the same thing if the answer is Skip Schumacher, or if it could be Skip Schumacher. Why not make that the answer now? Why are we waiting? And I know it's not that simple, right? Like, I do understand that. But if ultimately Skip Schumacher is a good answer, I will take that trade-off. I will take the trade-off of good answer from shallow pool of candidates versus perfect answer from deep pool of candidates. That trade-off is worth it to me to get a manager in place now versus continuing to meander through the rest of the season and deal with a lame duck. Like this, we know you don't want lame duck managers. We know that. And yet you're kind of openly signing up for one. Yes, Alex.
So what would be the downside of just hiring him now? Like, why would they not just want to get him a little head start?
It's exactly what Erik Kratz explained. The downside is you're trying to do the most incorporating managerial search that you can do. And if you do it now, then anyone who has a job can't be a part of it.
All right.
So there's no real comparison to this in like the professional world because you can just sort of leave your job whenever you want. But Ryan Flaherty is just the example I'll come up with. But if you wanted to be, what's-his-face, George Lombard in Detroit, who I know a lot of people are hot and bothered about as a potential managerial candidate, anybody who's got not even a managerial job but a coaching job right now, you don't just get to up and leave those jobs in the middle of the season.
No.
That's your job. You have to do it. You are tied into it for the rest of the year. So it's not just that, you can't hire them right now. You can't even interview them right now and figure out if they would be a good fit for the job. That's the way that it works. So I understand the argument. The argument is you do this at the end of the year so that you can get the most complete group of candidates, so that you can be confident that you went through this process and you knew exactly who was interested, and you hired the best candidate for the job.
Okay.
We should always want that in America, right? Like, we don't want nepotism. We want best candidates, regardless of anything, to get the job. But in this unique circumstance, my opinion is if there's a very good candidate who's available and wants the job, I'd be inclined to give that very good candidate the job now because I think the timing is valuable. Into hour number 2 of a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. It is time for us to make a trip to Bowie to chat with a member of the Chesapeake Baysox. And our next guest, I got a funny feeling he might not be there a whole lot longer. He is off to an outstanding start to the season. He is pitching to a .86. Yes, 0.86 ERA.
Is that good?
I hear that's good in his 17 appearances this season. And a 0.57 whip. He is Baysox reliever Keagan Gillies, and he's with us now here on GCR. Keagan, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat again, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, what's gotten into you this year? Like, is this just this is just the way it was going to be? Like, you've been able to face competition at this level a couple years. You've mastered it. Did you change pitches? What's the story? What's going on?
I mean, I don't know if there's really a story to it. Honestly, just trying to go out there and compete at my best. Trying to get an advantage counts and let it work from there.
I reference obviously that you've been able to face competition at this level a couple of years. Did you feel like coming into this season? And I know, given your age, like, were you dealing with any of those, like, hey, the clock's ticking, I need to start ramping it up now? Did you have to go through any of that? Do you feel any of that every time you go out and pitch?
No, I really don't feel that. I think just going out there doing my thing, regardless of age, how long you've been here. Sometimes you're not even competing for the org, you're competing for other orgs too that could come up in trades, Rule 5. There's a lot of things, a lot of opportunities out there. So just kind of controlling what I can control and going out there and showcasing myself every time I step on the mound.
Keagan, I remember the first time I saw you, I was like, wow, he's big. Like, that's a big dude. Where are you at this point velocity-wise?
It kind of varies, but for the most part, I'm sitting in that mid-90s area, sitting around 95 average. So if I can do that for a full year and stay healthy, that's a big time thing for me at least. But when that adrenaline comes, hopefully one day in the big leagues, and I step on that mound, it can tick up, 1 or 2. But I guess we'll have to see when that time comes.
Do you feel like there's still more there, or do you feel like this is probably about where you're comfortable, that you can get major league hitters out throwing the way that you're throwing the ball?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think I can get major league hitters out, throwing how I'm throwing right now. But the difference between throwing in Bowie on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night and throwing in the big leagues in front of tens of thousands of people is definitely a big shakeup.
No.
So, that adrenaline's going to kick in a little bit more.
Have you felt like, again, I bring up the idea that you've faced AA hitters now for a couple of years. Have you felt like I'm in command? Like I can get these guys out, and I know that's relevant because like the thought is that at AA you're facing major leaguers now. Like these are all guys that are, that have a chance to become major leaguers. How much does the dominance that you have found give you confidence in, yep, I'm good, this is the box that I needed to check, I'm on my way?
Yeah, no, I think regardless of, how you're performing, what your results are, I think all that stuff plays a factor into your confidence. But overall, just coming into every game with the confidence that you're the best on the field, you're the best on the team, you're the best in the org, you're the best in the world is something that you have to go in with. If not, this game will eat you up mentally, and that's just not a spot you want to be in. So regardless of the results, I think that should be your mindset, every day going to the field.
He is Keagan Gillies. He is with us here on GCR. Keagan, are you, just because I don't get to watch every game, I know you've been used in save situations, but I know it's a little bit different in the minors than it is in major leaguers. Are you, like, do you believe your role is as back end of the bullpen, that closer? Like, is there something about you that has the mentality that, yeah, that's what I can do, that's my strength moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That's something that definitely gets my rocks off a little bit is, coming in the ninth and shutting it down. But ultimately, it really doesn't matter where I am. I know I'm going to go out there with the same confidence and the same intensity, regardless if it's the first or the ninth. So just showing that I can be usable in different situations and different high leverage situations is something that you always want to put on your resume. And ultimately, that's where I'd like to be. But I'll do anything to help the team. Put me in any situation.
What does it take, right? Like, what is the difference for someone that is a ninth inning pitcher, right? Is it the exact same prep that you would go through otherwise if you're coming in the seventh? Like, what does that look like for you on a game day if you're the ninth inning guy?
Yeah. For me right now, the routines and everything just stays the same. Mentality stays the same. Everything stays the same. Regardless if it's the fifth or the sixth or the ninth inning, you're going out there and you're getting 3 outs. Everything else is just for show, for the fans, for everybody. The hype up music, all that stuff is just for show. So you just going out there. Is it a righty or a lefty? I'm going in there. I'm throwing strikes. I'm attacking the zone, and I'm getting my 3 outs and getting out of there.
I mean, does it require you to become a psychopath? Like, does it require you to? I talk about this with relievers all the time, where like, you guys seem like the nicest guys in the world, and then like I hear from them, yeah, but don't talk to me when I'm like, know that I'm about to get ready to go into a game. Does it require you to go through like a I have to Hulk up type of scenario as you're getting ready to come in?
Yeah, I don't know. For some guys, it is like that, and for some guys, it isn't. I would say if you ask a couple of my teammates around, they'd say that I'm kind of a psychopath when it comes to my time. It's just like an alter ego. It just kind of turns on once I start my prep work outside. When I know I'm going in the ninth, it just kind of flips, and I get into the mentality of, I'm going to go in there and dominate, and that's just what comes out on the other side.
I mean, so are you still that guy 5 minutes afterwards? Like, are you?
I mean, it's definitely hard to turn off after. It takes a little while to come down, especially in the clubhouse. And honestly, when I get home, it's even hard sometimes to go to sleep.
Wow.
It just depends, It's a little bit of mixture of the adrenaline with the caffeine. So yeah, sometimes it's a little harder to go to sleep.
Like I might need to go watch a movie or something. Might need to go do something else. Keagan Gillies with us here on GCR. Keagan, is that the same? Like that? What you just described? That's the same no matter what the circumstances. Whether you're going in 1-run game in the ninth inning, or you're going in, your team's up by 7 in the sixth. Like, is it the same mentality that the adrenaline kick that you put yourself through when you get ready to go into a baseball game?
Yeah, I mean, I try to. I think that's something that's important because if you're going into a 5 or 6 run game where it really doesn't matter as much the overall performance. I mean, obviously it does, but it's a little different when you're going into the bottom of the ninth in a 1-run game, and every little small thing matters. So I try to keep that same intensity, whether we're up or down by 10 or we're up or down by 1 going into the ninth, and that's something I try to pride myself on, because you don't want to go out there in a blowout game, and then now I'm struggling in the zone. I'm giving up runs, giving up hits. That all plays a factor. So I try to keep the same mentality, whether it's the bottom of the ninth or the 5th inning.
I appreciate that, man. And I think that it requires that, doesn't it? Is there anybody in your life that knows, like, not to deal with you after a game? Like, is there anybody that's just been like, hey, like, we'll give him a couple hours, maybe we'll talk to him tomorrow? Oh.
Yeah, no, me and my dad have a rule. Me and my parents really have a rule where 24-hour rule. So after the game, there's no talking about baseball.
Okay.
None of that. We'll get in touch the next day and kind of go over some of the stuff that I went through, kind of talk about it. But yeah, we have a 24-hour rule where there's no baseball until the next day.
I love that. I love that, and I appreciate it. Did there have to be a particular experience that led to that rule, or was it like maybe one incident where they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't talk on game day.
Yeah, I'm sure there was definitely a couple instances back in college and high school where it was like, hey, we tried it out. We tried to talk right after whatever happened, but let's make a rule where we just don't talk about it until the next day. And that's stuck. And honestly, it's been a really good deal for us.
That's smart, man. Keagan, who's the guy on this team right now, on this current Baysox team, that you say probably deserves more attention than what they get, that probably deserves more recognition among prospects, like a guy that you look at and say, that guy's a major leaguer, and I don't know why we don't talk about him like that.
Yeah. I think really on this Bowie Baysox team, I mean, if you look at our bullpen, it's pretty incredible what we're doing. I think we're top ranks in the top 3 in most categories just throughout AA baseball, which is pretty awesome. So I think you can look at any of our bullpen guys and kind of say that. I think another guy that's really cracked the scene this year, who I think is a true big leaguer, is Braxton Bragg. He's come out. He's been dominant both in high A and in AA. He's got really electric stuff. He commands his zone very well. He's got a mature approach to it, and I think he's starting to get that recognition now, but he's someone that I could see in the big leagues here very soon.
The Chesapeake Baysox are home this weekend against the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Tonight, happy hour, and Pride Night tomorrow night. Glow in the Park and Read and Hit a Home Run reading event. Fireworks on Saturday. It's also Pop Star Night, and it's for a very specific pop star, but they don't have the rights, so we can't say who it is. But I would say that perhaps you have a little bad blood with this person. Just maybe that's what I would say. Some family fun day on Sunday as well. Go to Baysox.com. By the way, completely unrelated. Are you a Swiftie, Keagan?
I wouldn't say I'm a Swiftie.
Okay.
I don't think that would be a term I'd use myself for. No.
But are there songs that, like, if they play them pregame, like as you guys are warming up, we might catch you singing along to on the field?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure if you played a couple songs there, I might be blaring it out.
Okay. All right.
But I'm definitely not putting it in my truck on the way to the field or anything.
So what is in the truck on the way to the field? What is like the?
Oh man.
Yeah.
It just depends what the vibe I'm feeling that day. Am I pitching that day? There's a lot that goes into it, but I listen to a little bit of everything: country, EDM, rap, even some rock and roll in there. So just depends on the vibe I'm feeling that day.
I didn't realize that rock and roll still existed these days, so that's really well.
Yeah,
I appreciate that about you. Keagan Gillies, where can Orioles fans be giving you a follow on social media? Twitter, Instagram, anywhere like that?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I believe my Instagram is kgillis29, and then my Twitter is Keagan Gillis10, I believe. So you can find me on both of those platforms.
Is it actually Gillis, and I've been the jerk this entire time and saying Gillies?
Hey, it's
Dude.
Honestly, it goes both ways.
No.
Gillis, but I get.
It's your name. It doesn't go both ways. You get to tell us.
No. Honestly, we pronounce it as Gillis. Yes.
All right, then it's Gillis, and I feel like a jerk, and I'm sorry. I apologize wholeheartedly.
Do not feel bad.
Keagan Gillis. I'm never going to get it wrong again. That's a promise. You got that. Keagan, really appreciate you spending some time with us this morning, man. Really enjoyed this conversation. Enjoy everything that you've been doing this year. Look forward to seeing what's next for you. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Of course. I appreciate you having me on.
It's Keagan Gillis with us here on GCR. Damn it. I hate that. It's mostly Griffin's fault, but still, I'd prefer that we get it right. Damn. It's a bummer. Having a hell of a year, though. So one quick note. This is interesting. The College Football Hall of Fame, this has been kind of a controversy because when Mike Leach passed away, they wanted him to get into the Hall of Fame. His career, in order to get into the College Football Hall of Fame as a coach, your career winning percentage has to be 600 or higher. His career winning percentage, not quite 600. His career winning percentage, Mike Leach, the legendary longtime college football coach who we once thought was going to be the coach of Maryland when they ultimately hired Randy Edsall instead. His career winning percentage, he went 158 and 106. So those of you that are math majors would know that 158 and 106 is just under 600. I mean, like, just under.
Okay.
598. And so he wasn't eligible. So the College Football Hall of Fame announces today they've changed the policy. And now anybody who's 595 or higher
seems fair, right?
can get in. Now, for what it's worth, I guess I would say, why even have the policy, right? Like, you're kind of just saying we want to find a way to let Mike Leach into the Hall of Fame, so this is what we're doing in order to get him in. And that's what it is. And I would just say, like, hey, if you could this is the thing I say about Ralph Regent all the time. Ralph Regent's record at Maryland is more impressive than a lot of coaches' records at real schools. Because you can't win at Maryland. And yet he did. And there's a strong argument. I say it now about Mike Loxley. You guys can poo-poo Mike Loxley winning 7 games, but winning 7 games at Maryland is like winning 10 at an actual football program. It's just the way it works. So I guess I would say that you should look at it and try to figure out the job that someone did and not just default to what their winning percentage was. And if their winning percentage was 52%, but they did it at, I'm trying to think of a place that would be, it was at Rutgers, that probably is more valuable than somebody who had a 61% winning percentage at Wisconsin, a place where you can actually win. So I would just get rid of the winning percentage thing. Why even have it in place? It's kind of laughable, but they are changing the rule specifically to allow Mike Leach into the Hall of Fame. The Oklahoma City Thunder are on to the NBA Finals. We got an old buddy who does radio down in Oklahoma City, former Oriole Jim Traber, and we're going to check in with him and figure out how this has happened that Oklahoma City became this juggernaut in the last couple of years. So we're going to do that in just a minute. Today's show is brought to you by County Sports Zone. CountySports.zone is the website for you to find out everything that you may have missed during championship season in spring high school sports. And then throughout the summer, they're going to be getting you ready for football season. They'll be giving you news, coaching changes, updates, rankings. So always be checking out CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
Discover luxury without limits at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. This April, unlock a world of high fashion delights and exclusive style. Earn entries daily starting April 1st and join our drawing on Friday, April 25th. 19 will win up to $2,000 in cash and free play. And one grand prize winner will take home a curated Versace homeware collection. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles' top prospect Samuel Basayo. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com. where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR. I got a controversy as I said, reading Glenn, new episode available. I made it very clear this week. I have a problem now with Monday holidays because y'all are losing. We're wiping out the week. Griffin was trying to blow up the show today.
Yeah, it was because of Memorial Day. You're right.
I haven't been able to book a guest. Like, this is what happens when there's a 3-day holiday. This is the way. And if the holiday's on Monday, we just punt the next week.
Every holiday should be like Thanksgiving, you're saying.
Friday holidays. End weeks with holidays. Because we're going to lose maybe 2 days, right? We're going to lose by like Wednesday of a week where there's a Friday holiday, you're starting to check out a little bit. But at least you were functional for those 2 days. Now, what happens when there's a Monday holiday is we take 2 days just to recover. We think about all the stuff that we didn't do last week because, like, we knew there was a holiday coming up. So we just didn't bother to do it. And so it takes us until Thursday for us to get to a place where we even consider doing new work. And then by Thursday, we're like, well, hell, it's almost Friday. I'll just deal with that next week. We punt an entire week. And you guys know that it's true. The part that Rita didn't even really try to argue with me about the factuality of it.
That's
she
not
just said,
true.
No, it's true.
Come on.
Nobody's doing any work.
We did a show.
Yeah.
I was here yesterday.
Yeah, exactly
and
right.
He killed it.
Bang up stuff this week. Can't wait to put together this week's week in review. Can't wait to do that. God. Bang up stuff. And look, it doesn't help that the Orioles stink. I understand that. Like, that adds to the problem, but it's not just the fact that the Orioles stink. It's not just that. We need to get rid of Monday holidays. Monday holidays are an excuse for the entire week to be punted. It becomes, we'll deal with that next week. We need the reset. We got to go to work on Mondays. We got to understand there's no bailing on it. When we get to Monday, again, we might need a day, but by Sunday we recognize, oh crap, tomorrow's Monday, like life goes on. We, as a society, need to go back to work. And I get accused of being like, what are you, big government? No.
What are you, big government?
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to get rid of the holiday. I want the holiday to exist. I just want it to be on Friday.
Does the government want more holidays?
Because do they?
I don't know.
I don't think.
Is government the ones that want less holidays? Or?
I think right now they don't want us to ever have any days off. Like, I don't think that's the case. I'm saying we as a society need the holidays to be on Friday. We need it to be on a Friday because we need the reset. Otherwise, we're losing entire weeks. Find out more about that by listening to Rita and Glenn this week. It's a topic that we got into and we had a heavy conversation about. Today's show is brought to you by the Stan Fan Variety Hour. They'll be back in action on Monday. Stan, Ross, and Luke talking baseball with you. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. If you miss it live, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan shows are brought to you by the Costas Inn. And they'll be back together. Took the week off for the holiday, but they'll be back together next Monday talking baseball and trying to make sense and figure out what's going on with the Orioles. Not just baseball going on right now, but obviously, as we mentioned, we have half of the NBA Finals set. Could have the entire NBA Finals set after tonight. Last night, in blowout fashion, the Oklahoma City Thunder claim Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, and they are on to the NBA Finals for just the second time since moving to Oklahoma City. And with that in mind, we head down to Oklahoma City, where one of our favorites, this man who I think at this point is as well known for his sports broadcasting career, if not better known for his sports broadcasting career, as for his baseball career. He's a former Oriole, but perhaps you know him better from his show down in Oklahoma City. He is Jim Traber, and he is back with us now here on GCR. Jim, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, and congratulations to the Thunder on being back in the NBA Finals.
Well, I didn't do anything. But
I know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but it's fun.
It sure is exciting around here. People are fired up about it, and they're pretty daggone good, man. I'll tell you.
They really are.
That defense they play is absurd.
Jim, how did this happen, right? Like, how did this team, post the purge, losing Kevin Durant, James Harden, that group of guys, how did this team put this together to be this dominant?
Well, they went into the tanking deal that you have to do if you're a small market, and And then they got a general manager that's just unbelievably impressive. I mean, Sam Presti, you know, when he gives a press conference, dude, you can't understand anything that he's saying, really. I mean, he talks for like he'll give you like a 3-minute answer, and you're going like, I have no idea what he just said. They're really good at that, but he's so daggone smart and so calculated that they figured out the way to do it. They're very disciplined in what they do, and what they believe in. You know, Mark Daigneault is basically a clone of Presti, the way he talks and the way they act together. And they really, there's always luck involved. You know this. There's always luck involved in things. You know, the first time around they got the number 2 pick instead of the number 1 pick, and every team in the NBA was going to take Odom, the big fella. Well, they got number 2 and they got Durant. Well, Durant is a generational type player, and Odom wasn't any good at all. You know, had injuries and stuff. So this time around, they make this unbelievable trade. They just rob the Clippers. And they get SGA. Well, nobody think, even the Thunder or the Clippers, because the Clippers wouldn't have traded him, would ever thought that SGA would be this good. So they get SGA and then all these draft picks, and then those draft picks end up being Chet Holmgren and all these unbelievable young players. And they all buy in. You know, it's crazy because last time around, you know, James Harden was like, I don't want to be the 6th man of the year. I want to be a superstar, you know. And so he gets out of here and goes and becomes a star, whatever kind of star you want to say James Harden is. That's what he is. Well, this time these dudes, at least on the outside, they buy into being together and winning. I mean, it's a crazy thing. I've been around a lot of teams, and it is really impressive the way these guys do what they do. Now, you know, we also thought that Kevin Durant was one of the most loyal people in the world. He left. You know, and the other thing that's crazy about, you know, we're the flagship station of the Thunder, right? None of their players or coaches come on our station. Nobody. Not one. We had James Harden on a long time ago when he won 6th man of the year. And, you know, I do radio with a guy who's comes on after me, and we're together for a little bit. And he literally started sports talk radio, dude. He's going to be his 49th year coming up. All right. His name is Al Eschbeck. And we have James Harden on, and we ask him, remember when he did the deal with our test back then, or whatever the heck his name was at the time, where he punched him in the head and all that stuff?
Oh, okay.
Well, that was going on. It was the biggest story in the daggone world. And we asked them about it, and they told us you're never having anybody on again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the way they do it. So it's really interesting. It's an interesting organization. It's not real good for us because, you know, we don't get to talk to anybody. But they do what they do. The players love it, and they're on a roll, man. They're on a roll.
He is Jim Traber from the Sports Animal down in Oklahoma City, former Baltimore Oriole. Jim, I wonder then, because I wanted to ask about SGA, right, and like how he's sort of almost like unassumingly become this mega star in the NBA, obviously winning MVP this year, like in the way that Kevin Durant became a star in Oklahoma City. What has that relationship been like between SGA and a smaller market, and the way that this is built up over, you know, almost a decade at this point that SGA has been down there?
I have never, Glenn, I have never seen a superstar like SGA in all my years. And I've been around, you know, Cal Ripken, who's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
When I did the Arizona Diamondbacks, you know, when we won the World
Randy
Series.
Johnson, right?
Well, Luis Gonzalez is one of
yeah.
the greatest people you'll ever meet, you know. But this dude, SGA, he's kind of a small town. He reminds me of hockey players a little bit. You know, the hockey players are always the best people because they come from little towns in Canada, and you know, they're not these big bad dudes. SGA is amazing. You'd be shocked at this guy, and he's real. Like, I had a caller call in while they were off between the playoffs, and he said, I was at the park the other day with my little kid, and there was a guy there I thought looked like SGA, so I went up and talked to him, and he goes, oh, yeah, I am SGA. And he had his little baby and his wife out there, and he talked to him, and he played with the other guy's little kid. I mean, this guy's amazing. And whatever you hear from him, it's real. It is real. So he's an amazing – I can't think of a player in the NBA that if I was a fan would want a guy to be the face of my team more than SGA. That's about the biggest compliment that I could get.
That's cool. It's really, really cool. You mentioned the defense, right? Like, is it where did it start? Why are these guys also bought in the way that they are defensively?
Well, again, a little bit of luck. I mean, they get Dort, as a free agent out of Arizona State. Nobody drafts him, and he turns into this. Look, I know if you're from another team, you can't stand the guy because he flops all over the place and coming around screens, and he just beats up people. I mean, they just beat people. That's what they do. They beat people. I keep telling these, you know how fans are. They cry about refs all the time, and I keep telling them, people. You want the referees not to call fouls. If the referees don't call fouls, then you're going to dominate people because you beat everybody up. And, they don't like hearing that, but that's the truth. But then they get Dort, and then they decide, in the early years, Sam Presti would draft guys with length and defense and say, well, I'll make them into shooters. Well, it didn't work out. Guys like Andre Robertson and some of those guys that couldn't shoot at all. Well, he changed his mind. He wanted defense and length, but he wanted shooters too. And like a guy like Cason Wallace has just been an incredible draft pick. But here's the deal. So for 2 years, I'm on the radio. I mean, you guys can probably imagine I'm pretty daggone opinionated.
No,
I
refuse to believe that, Jim.
But I was telling them, y'all are winning nothing. The Thunder are winning nothing if you're going to keep running Giddey out there and play him for 30 minutes or 28 minutes because he can't play defense. And he can't shoot. He's a really good basketball player, but he can't do those things. And what they do, they trade him for Caruso, who is just, an unbelievable bulldog on defense and can shoot a little bit. And then because they got beat up by Dallas last year in the playoffs with the big men, they go get Hartenstein. We all thought $30 million was way too much for him, but he fit in perfectly. And now they got all the different ways to do it. So it's brilliant. I mean, I would think a 30 for 30 at some point would be pretty impressive about the length of the 18 years of the Thunder going through, Durant and Westbrook.
Yep.
And then going through this group. It's so much better. This group is so much better, Glenn. You can't believe it, man. It's so much better than that first group.
It's incredible to watch. It really is, Jim. Selfishly, on the local front, we're kind of bummed that Aaron Wiggins has kind of been moved a little bit out of the rotation in the process, the former Maryland Terrapin. I know he had a really nice regular season, and that's not, that's the way the NBA works. You always tighten the bench by the time you get to the postseason. Has he fallen out of favor down there, or is it just the nature of we have so many good players, there's not really the minutes for him?
Yeah, I mean, listen, first of all, for all you Maryland Terrapin fans, this kid has been amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I mean, second-round pick, a guy that can really play, does anything for you. I mean, listen, if I was one of these guys, I'd be mad. But, it seems as if, at least on the outside, that they're okay. But, it's interesting, like against Denver, they barely played Isaiah Joe. Well, Isaiah Joe's coming off 2 years in a row where he shot over 40% from three.
Right.
And I guess he just doesn't fit, And then Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, he played, against Jokic and did some things. He's not playing at all in this series. So I think, last year – there's been a big deal here in Oklahoma City. I don't know if you remember when the Thunder went to the finals against Miami Heat. Scott Brooks just decided that he was going to continue to play Perkins against them, and it was the dumbest move in the world. And stupid people like me are going, "What are you doing? Why get him off the floor? It doesn't work in this series." But he kept doing it, and they got beat 4-1. Last year against Dallas, Dagnall did a little bit of the same thing. It was like, okay, I bring this guy in here and I do this and I do that. Well, this year he is coaching with feel. And I'm telling you, first of all, this dude is a really good coach, man. I mean, I'm serious. They win 3 or 4 championships, which we all know is really, really hard. But this guy is a big part of it. But this year he's coaching with feel, and he says, okay, this guy fits here. This guy, I'll go 2 bigs here. I won't go 2 bigs here. And it's just working out really, really nicely. So he's impressive. I wish I could come on here and tell you, that they've got a bunch of flaws, but unfortunately, Glenn, they don't.
It sounds like you're saying you're going to be pretty confident. We all assume it's going to be Indiana, and I think that you should be, right? The way I know that they got pushed to 7 by the Nuggets. They're not unbeatable, but like they do absolutely look like they have been the best team in the NBA this year, and they deserve to be the favorites that they're going to be going into the NBA Finals.
Well, and nobody gives them any credit. I mean, remember like the Morris brothers, who by the way just stink on television. I mean, I guess if you play good, there's been radio stations here in Oklahoma City over the years that have tried to come against us, and they'll put like ex-OU football players on or something, and they can barely talk, right? But they think because they played football at OU that everybody's going to listen to them. Well, we've beaten them down for years. I mean, I've been doing it for 32 years now, So, yeah, it's just crazy about that kind of stuff. Well, it's the same thing with this. Let me tell you this about Indiana, man. I think this is going to be one of the most unbelievable matchups. At least I think so. You never know with the Thunder because they can just run out on people. But Indiana, nobody knows that from January 1st till now, Oklahoma City won the most games in all of the NBA. Indiana was number 2. Indiana started 6-16, Glenn. 6-16. Okay, and they have been playing great, and Carlisle is a great coach. I think you have the best offense in the league against the best defense in the league. So I think what happens normally when that happens, it'll be the other side of the ball that's the most important. And Oklahoma City, if they shoot the ball, you have no chance. I mean, if their big 3 guys play the way they can, you're not going to beat them. It's that simple because of their defense. But they've had some really, really bad shooting nights in the playoffs. And they can do that sometimes. They can go really cold.
Right.
But even when they go cold, dude, they'll shoot 26% from 3, and they'll win by 15 because of that defense.
Right.
But I do think Indiana can give them a good series. I really do. I'm predicted. I'm getting ready to fly to Seattle today. I had my 5th grandchild.
Oh, congratulations.
So I'm not going to be on the next couple of days. Thank you. And I told them yesterday, I said, well, if it's Indiana, Oklahoma City, I'm taking Oklahoma City, but I think it's going to go 7. I really do. Indiana's not afraid to play on the road. They've already run 5 games on the road. So I think we'll see a great series. I really do.
By the way, the most infuriating thing is the nerds on the internet who are like, oh, the Indiana, Oklahoma City, the rating is going to be terrible. Like, if you're saying that you don't want to watch the best basketball series, like what kind of –
yeah.
What is that? Like, what in the world is that, man? The rest of us that like the sport are going to enjoy the hell out of it. Like,
yeah, the small market thing is a trip, man.
Right.
I mean, I've been able to go to a lot of markets in my lifetime, playing and being the Diamondback guy and everything.
Sure.
And I just don't understand it, man. I understand that people want to watch New York and L.A. and everything like that. That's why, Marcus Morris and the Morris brothers go, the only 2 teams that can win the West are the Clippers and the Lakers. Well, they both lost in the first round. I mean, that's the stupidity there. And why is that? Because they're in L.A.? I mean, come on, man. This team is real. People better get used to it. I'm telling you. And even if Indiana were to beat them, they're not going anywhere, Glenn.
Right.
They're not going anywhere.
Right.
I mean, they are loaded. They're all under contract. Now, a couple years from now, SGA is going to make, just if you're sitting down, $76 million. Okay?
Nice.
That's what he's going to get ready to make per year.
God.
But they're going to have to max out Jalen Williams, J-Dub, and they're going to have to probably close to max out Chet Holmgren. So, 2 years from now, Hartenstein probably won't be here, people like that. But, dude, they got young guys under contract. These guys signed these, 3 and 4 year deals. I wouldn't have done it, but whatever, man. I mean, they love being here, so it's really impressive.
Cool.
Wiggins is one of them, by the way. He signed a really good contract for him,
That's really cool, too. Like, I can only imagine what that means to the city, like, knowing, like, we've got this. This is not a fleeting moment. Like, that's such a cool thing.
How much credit does OKC give to Will Dawkins for the construction of that Thunder team, and should Wizards fans be very confident with what Dawkins is trying to build with the Wiz here in DC or down in DC?
Listen, man, all these dudes. Now I'm not going to say they're all going to work out, but he was a big part of this thing. So I guess I've never been in their war room, but I guess that Sam Presti, he does listen to people. Now he makes the last decision. But he listens to people, and he only puts people around him that are kind of like-minded. It's almost like I hate to say this, don't take this the wrong way, but it's almost like a cult. They're almost like a cult. And, again, it's not good for us,
Right,
radio-wise.
right.
I mean, we don't get any – I mean, can you imagine being the daggone flagship station and you don't ever get anybody on your station, ever? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Just have Leon Joe, man. Just to get somebody on the show, right? Like,
yeah, but that's okay. We've
Joe,
survived.
Isaiah.
We've done well without him. But the point is that Dawkins knows what he's doing now. I hate to say this for you guys back there, but the Wizards are in such ridiculous shape. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the heck they're going to do.
Jim, this is the good news. Griffin's the only person in Baltimore that gives a rat's ass about the Wizards. Nobody else in this city cares. So we're good.
We're gonna get Dairy Queen. We're gonna.
I got
more.
the one guy that actually cares about the Wizards sitting across.
Well, you know what, guys? Probably before you guys were born, okay? I used to go down to watch the Baltimore Bullets,
yeah,
dude. I
absolutely,
mean, right down there in downtown Baltimore. Yeah, I mean, I remember when they traded Earl the Pearl Monroe to the Knicks. I was so mad. I mean, not Earl. Earl the Pearl.
Absolutely.
I was so mad, dude. I was so mad about that. It was crazy.
Jim,
handed him to him.
Happy for you getting out to go spend some time with your grandkid, but I know what it does for a city, and to have something like this, everybody always likes to say, hey, you like it when the teams lose. I'm like, I don't know. There's way more life. There is so much more life in the city when the teams win. All the sponsors are happy to throw money at you when the teams are winning. They want to be a part of a winner. So I know what that does.
Yeah.
For
yeah,
radio.
no, it's crazy around here right now. I don't know if you see it too. Like they came home from the big win the other night in Minnesota. They get home at 3:00 in the morning. There's like 3,000 people waiting for them at the airport.
That's special, man.
Now, people in the big cities will go, yeah, there's nothing to do in Oklahoma City. Well, okay, that's fine. But if you're getting up at 3:00 in the morning, you're fired up. I know that.
There's no doubt about it. Jim, it's always great to catch up with you, brother. Enjoy the finals. Let's talk again soon, all right?
Yeah, call me anytime. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, man. Jim Traber, former Baltimore Oriole, of course.
Thanks so much, Jim.
Now down at the Sports Animal down in Oklahoma City. I don't know why. I think did Leon Joe play at Maryland? Is that why I called Isaiah Joe Leon Joe? Is that what it was? Hang on a second.
I don't know.
I think Leon Joe was a Maryland football player.
Oh, okay.
I think that's yep. Leon Joe was a linebacker who played at Maryland, and then he played for the Bears, Cardinals, Bears, Buccaneers, Bills, Jaguars, Bills, Buccaneers, Lions, Alouettes, Argonauts, and Eskimos.
Oh, I knew that.
That was.
I knew his NFL career. I wasn't familiar with it. I wasn't familiar with his Maryland days. So that's what.
He was a legend at Maryland. That's why I called Isaiah Joe Leon Joe. Weird bit. I don't know why that was the one that came to mind either. Very strange. Thunder are completely legit, man. 100%. This is not a fluke. This is not a, it'll get fixed next year. They are a really good basketball team. And there is nothing sadder than, like, if you say it in a flippant way, like, sometimes I'll say, like, oh, I bet the NBA is trying to make sure that they get the Knicks into the. That matters to the NBA office. Why a human being anywhere in the country that has nothing to do with these teams would give a rat's ass. I'm more interested in the NBA Finals because it's not just the same. It's not. If it was Lakers Celtics, I'd say, ugh. It's like those of you last year like going on the World Series. Man, I think it's great that it's Dodgers Yankees. What? How poisoned are we? Oklahoma City, Indiana is going to be an awesome NBA Finals. And anyone who thinks that market size has anything to do with quality of basketball, you're the dumbest human being alive. Now, it might matter. Like, it might very well be that there are places of business that are like, hey, we just happen to know there's more Knicks fans than there are Pacers fans, so
well, it probably is true.
We'd rather the Knicks be in because we'd have more people show up to watch the games here. I don't doubt the truth of that whatsoever. But unless you are that business, I could try to think of an example of like what's a transient hangout spot? Because I don't think it matters to
boiler rooms.
No, I don't think it matters to like Pickles. I don't think Pickles thinks that like suddenly there's going to be a boatload of Knicks fans showing up to watch the NBA Finals at Pickles. I'm trying to think of like if there's in our city a transient hangout spot,
basketball watching place.
Yeah, people that just and I admittedly this is
the casino.
Yeah, the casinos are probably like a fair example of this. That are like, yeah, this is where transient fans tend to hang out. And we would know there'd be more of them if it's the Knicks than there would be if it's the Pacers. And they'd be right. So if I was talking to them, Like if I was talking to Steve Casino,
Oh, Mr. Casino.
then it would make sense. He'd say this might be a bad deal for us business-wise. Okay, I get that. But short of that, any loser who goes on the internet like, oh, this is going to be a real disappointment, Oklahoma City and Indiana, nobody's going to watch that. Like, what? Why not just say, I don't know anything? Imagine that impacting. I'd rather it be worse teams that make the NBA Finals because they're in bigger markets. Imagine that being your argument for what you would most enjoy about watching an NBA Finals. It's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Now, if New York comes back and wins the series, they will have deserved it, and they'll all good. But if it's Oklahoma City, Indiana, that sounds great. Like different actual stars that we're getting to know and not just the same guys it's always been. Like I've said a million times, I love watching Steph Curry play basketball, but I've seen a lot of Steph Curry play basketball.
Well, it's going to be new stars regardless of who wins this Indiana.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
In that way. Yeah, it's 100%. Yeah, New York is interesting in that they're a big market, but they've just sucked for so long that we haven't been really beat over the head with the Knicks. There isn't Knicks fatigue.
I don't think anyone dislikes Jalen Brunson.
No, Jalen Brunson does not seem unlikable at all. Now,
Cat.
Again, every time that if it's the Knicks, because we're going to go do these NBA Finals events at the Sports and Social Live Casino and Hotel, and I see a bunch of people wearing Yankees hats, I'm going to remind myself, oh no, I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't want them to win. Rita was trying to sell me that on recently. She's like, I don't feel about the Knicks the way that I feel about the Yankees. I'm like, I know what you're saying. I understand it because we haven't been shoved down our throats.
Are cute, you know?
Until you remember I say they're the same people. Most of those people.
Well, as long as we're talking to these people and don't bring up baseball.
Right, but that's the problem. Most of those people are Lakers fans that are now masquerading as Knicks fans because the Knicks are relevant again. But there's a reason why they show up to these events wearing.
These fans are genuine, aren't they? Yeah. That's what Chalamet's teaching me.
A very a very small percentage of them are. A lot of them are Yankees fans who rooted for the Lakers and now are like, oh, the Knicks don't suck. I guess I'll pretend to be a Knicks fan again because I'm from New York. And that's the reason why they're wearing their Yankees hats out is because they don't actually own Knicks gear. Like, hey, it still says NY on it. I'll just wear it. Annoying. Very annoying.
You should fight all those people is what you should do.
That's definitely what I'm going to do. Although, I don't know. It worked out for the Pacers fan.
Yeah.
He got to go.
What do you have, floor seats?
He got floor seats. He was hanging out in the locker room afterwards with Tyrese Halliburton.
In the locker room.
God, he got the whole
deal.
Went
on McAfee?
It was that part would.
That's the only reason I want it.
Yeah, I know. So sad. Hey, today's show is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health.
I'm glad he survived. It looked like he was gonna.
It was. Look, man. As I said before, what happened there, not okay, and good on the Pacers for like embracing it and making it into a thing and kind of making themselves even more likable in the process. Like, look at what we did for this guy. But it is kind of weird, like when you see him get interviewed and like he didn't really do anything. He
did. He was supporting the team. He was supporting the club.
Yeah. It is like it's these awkward moments where they're like, so why were you hanging out around by the arena? And like you realize he was kind of trying to egg him on a little bit, like he was trying to stir the pot a little bit, which does not make what happened to him acceptable.
He had to run to whatever the Royal Farms is in New York.
Yeah, that's exactly. Had to get to the Dwayne Reed. It doesn't make anything that happened acceptable, but it's that awkward moment where there's only so much to talk about with the guy. Like there's only so many things to say. So you like the Pacers?
I think he was a firefighter, and that's what.
Yeah, you're a firefighter, and now here you are. That's kind of the end of it.
And then he gives.
That's always the
bit.
problem.
We're gonna win it all, baby.
Like when we try to make internet figures more than they are, you realize like this guy's maybe not quite as compelling as we thought.
We need them to have actual personality, like Hawk to a girl, like we were talking about yesterday.
Right, exactly right. That's when they
someone that we can rally behind.
We as a country. No, I would say all of them for the most part. Like, it's not a lot of depth. Not a lot of depth. I'm trying to think of who's an internet figure that's had a lot of depth and has actually been like a
someone who just like popped out of nowhere. Well, Hawk Tuah girl, yeah.
But she's got no depth. You don't know.
She's got a podcast.
I'm aware.
Did you listen to the podcast?
No, you've never listened either. No one's listening to the podcast.
She went on Bill Maher or something, right?
Did she?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I got some takes on Bill Maher.
We got time. What is it? We're going
Who
to
was
3.
Who was Martin Short went on Bill Maher apparently once as Jiminy Glick, and he says, he said, "What everybody likes you. I mean, not Democrats or Republicans, but but I don't know what Bill Maher's shtick is supposed to be. Like he's turned into a guy that's like he
tolerates everyone, right?
Where it's supposed to be that way, but it's become almost the exact opposite of that. Like his edgy was supposed to be like, I think that the Trump people have a point, right? Like that was what he was trying to say, to be edgy. And then you just realize like it's gone the exact like he's just like a Trump supporter.
Yeah, he went,
like that's all he is.
He went all in.
And you're like, that's not edgy anymore. That's just who you are. Like there's nothing edgy about it. You're just one of them, and it's fine. Like I don't care. Be whoever you want to be, but I don't know what the point of. I don't know why people still. I never was a Bill Maher guy. Like his show never did anything for me. But like the idea was he was just supposed to be a rabble rouser, right? Like I'm just going to be a contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian, which offers nothing to society. I guess there are people that think that makes for good television if you just let me always take the opposite position and see what happens. But you're not even doing that anymore. Like you're just going over here. How's that interesting? And I'm not suggesting that it's interesting to just always be over here either, but like he's never been funny. It's one thing, I know what side Jon Stewart's on. Like I'm very aware, but he's legitimately funny. Like his presentation is hilarious. Bill Maher's not funny. I think he was a comedian at some point, but the show his jokes are dry. They're just bad. All right, I don't know why I did 5 minutes on Bill Maher.
Sorry, I guess
thanks a lot for that.
I guess it's my fault. Yeah.
Thanks.
Just like everything else.
But yeah, well, some things. This one I won't put on you. I could have ejected. I was trying to do a Game Day Men's Health read. I want to tell everybody about all the wonderful things that have happened to me since I've started taking peptides. I don't wake up screaming every morning like, I don't go through that process. I wake up and I feel good. It's been a wild turn of events, and I'm only a couple weeks into peptide treatment. Look, man, you get into your 40s, even sometimes your mid to late 30s, and for men, you just don't feel like yourself. You're like, this is weird. This is not, I don't know how to explain it. You're run down. You're fatigued. And it's easy to say, well, that's just aging. That's just the way that it works. And to some extent, yeah, it is just aging. But you can just accept it and say, well, now I'm going to sit on my couch for the rest of my life. Or you can try to do something about it. And that's what I think a lot of us want to do. So I would encourage you to go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com or just make a call. And there's a few locations. I've been teaming up with the one in Owings Mills, and you can call them 443-264-4454 and just say, hey, I kind of want to come over for a complimentary testosterone test. Find out, are you low T? Does that have something to do with it? If not, talk about what it is. Nobody likes talking about maybe like performance issues in the bedroom. That's not a topic that we want to talk. You don't want to be sitting around with your boys and be like, hey, dude, not really getting the job done anymore. That's not something you want to do. But if that's what's going on, again, your options are deal with it, like not have sex, or maybe do something about it. Call them. 443-264-4454. GameDayMen'sHealth.com is the website to find out more about how they're helping men reclaim their game. I guess we'll do a fighting words.
What do you mean, guess?
That's the part of the show that we have prepared
What do you
for
mean,
this week. Do that when we come back in. It's Glenn Clark Radio. This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at BMWChampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
Discover luxury without limits at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. This April, unlock a world of high fashion delights and exclusive style. Earn entries daily starting April 1st and join our drawing on Friday, April 25th. 19 will win up to $2,000 in cash and free play. And one grand prize winner will take home a curated Versace homeware collection. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas Combo, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious filling sandwiches including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we are winding down for a Thursday edition of the program. And if it's Thursday, that means we have to let Griffin do this.
It's Fighting Words with Griffin Bass.
My favorite part is when he's going to say,
like such a chore.
Well, there's not really a lot going on this week. That's
we got some stuff this week.
Like what?
Got boxing.
What's
We got Caleb Plant fighting this week.
Right.
He will be fighting.
It's like there's two interesting fighters on the card, but they're not fighting each other.
Correct.
Yes.
This is they're trying to do the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney thing in Times Square a couple weeks back. They're trying to do that right this time. So Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo are both fighting this weekend, so that they can both kind of get a tune-up here before they want to fight each other later this year. So Plant will be fighting Jose Armando Resendiz, and Jamal Charlo will be fighting Thomas Cornflake LaManna.
Is that what his nickname is? Really, is Cornflake?
I mean, you should see a picture of him. I mean, yeah, it kind of fits. Kind of fits for him. But yeah, they're both going to be heavy favorites here. It feels like it is more so for Jamal.
All right, yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. He does kind of look like a cornflake.
Not my nickname. That's his nickname. That's like his official nickname, Thomas Cornflake LaManna.
Right.
So I'm not the one that's calling him Cornflake.
I'll give it to you.
Jamal hasn't fought since 2023, and so this tune is more so for him because, and that's why it feels more risky, I guess. So Cornflake, he's got a chance to kind of ruin things here for Plant and Charlo. But we'll see. Charlo is still undefeated. He's 33-0, but he has only had 3 fights since 2020 and has looked kind of uninspiring in each of them. So we'll see what happens. But that is Saturday night, Prime Video pay-per-view. Expect the walkouts are about 11 and I think midnight respectively. So Charlo first and then Plant the headliner. I'm not. I don't think there's a whole lot of ways to make money here. Maybe Charlo by points is plus 110 if you want to take Jamal Charlo by decision, or you can just take Cornflake Lamanna straight up plus 800.
Yeah, right.
If you really want to.
His guy's name is Cornflake.
Yeah.
Why not go for it?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember. Oh God, hang on a second. Do you remember a fighter who had a decent run for a little while named Kelly Pavlik?
Okay.
Kelly Pavlik was the unified WBCO, WBO, and ring middleweight champion because he defeated Jermaine Taylor in 2007, which was a big deal. And
the Ghost.
Yeah, the Ghost is exactly what they called him. He was from Ohio, and he had some real success. Late in his career, I found out, and I believe it's now her ex-husband, but I found out that he was going to fight my friend, the girl that I knew really well, her husband. And I was like, wait, first of all, everything about this sentence is wild. One, you married a boxer? And she was like, no. Like, yeah, it's the whole thing. And I was like, and two, and he's so good that he's fighting Kelly Pavlik? That's incredible. And then I was talking about it with another one of my friends. I'm like, yo, somebody who's in the boxing world. It might have been Jeremy, but I don't know. Somebody who was really into boxing. I was like, dude, this is crazy. This girl that I used to talk to, her husband is fighting Kelly Pavlik. And he started laughing. He's like, yeah, because he's there to get his ass kicked. He's just the guy.
This was a sanctioned fight, right?
This is an actual fight. I just pulled it up. Who it was? I don't want to do this.
I mean, we can all look it up, right?
It was one of his later
I
fights.
Start listing all his last 4 fights of his career.
It's not Bernard Hopkins. I'll tell you that much. I can't believe Bernard Hopkins was allowed to fight in 08, and I can't believe that.
Okay, I feel
Kelly
like I can guess who it
lost
is
to
now.
him in 08.
Was it the one in Texas, San Antonio?
No, the one after that.
Oh, okay.
So
he lasted longer than the guy before that.
He's got that going for him. He does. He does have that going for him. I thought that it meant he was a great fighter. I was like, wow, he must be an amazing fighter.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
My buddy was like, no, that's not what it means. It means he was the guy that took the fight. That's what it means. So I don't know what
I'm trying to say. Cornflake, I think, is a legitimate fighter.
He doesn't have a Wikipedia page either.
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Worth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then yeah, you're right. They're making it sound like a bigger thing than he is. All right, we're gonna let me log in here to see his official record. So okay, that's not a good thing. Apparently he's got over 45 fights.
Okay.
I see a 39-5 record for Cornflake Lamanna.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Whatever that means.
Yeah. I mean, he's won 5 in a row here. It looks like. Yeah, he's won 5 in a row. He's won make it 9 in a row actually. He hasn't lost since 2021. So.
All right.
He's been busy.
Good for him.
So yeah, he's definitely the more active fighter going into this Jamal Charlo.
So bet him.
Charlo fight.
So do it. You won't. Do it.
Nah.
Throw some money on old Cornflake. On all. Didn't Joe Biden used to tell stories about him?
about old Cornflake Lamanna?
We had a rough in our neighborhood. His name was Cornflake, and
no one messed with Cornflake.
And he was the neighborhood tough.
Maybe Caleb Plant. I don't have any strong feelings towards him either. By knockout, he's minus 220. I mean, that's what I think is going to happen. I think. But if you feel, I think it'll be in the later rounds as well. By knockout in rounds 7 through 12 is plus 120. So. If you really need to feel like you need to make some money on this, that's the way.
So go make some money.
I'd go that way. So that's the big boxing card. So the other news this week is that there's been a petition to strip John Jones of his heavyweight title in the UFC. Over on change.org, it's got over 100,000 signatures now.
Change.org.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing.
This is what we're doing with our.
It is. We're up to almost 145,000 signatures now.
How about that?
So that'll accomplish nothing. But yeah, John Jones and Tom Aspinall, the saga continues of this fight that we just probably aren't going to get.
It's definitely weird that he's not fighting.
Yeah.
But it would require me to care about the UFC in order to be able to have a topic about the. They've done this to themselves. Like in a functional sporting organization, should they say, hey, dude, either you're going to fight and fight the guy that you need to fight or you don't get to be the champion anymore, then, yeah, that's what a functional organization would do. In an organization that says we only have, a couple of relevant names, so even if he's not fighting, we need him associated with us because the sport is less important than the business, this is what they're gonna do.
Yeah. So that's your weekly update on John Jones, I guess. Since we need that, that's what we need to do.
Griffin. And now, did John Jones fight this week?
Not this
No.
week. Not this week. This week he did not fight.
Is he gonna fight this week?
You're gonna hate
No.
this, I think.
I'm sure I will.
Dan Hooker, he's a lightweight in the
I
UFC.
remember Dan Hooker.
Yeah, Dan, the Hangman Hooker. He is back home in New Zealand, and he this past week, he hosted a 32-man 1-minute scraps tournament back in New Zealand, $50,000 prize to this 32-man tournament of just random people that he put the word out. He said he was going to give away $50,000. And people showed up in his backyard and were beating each other up.
I don't love that part about it, but
unsanctioned.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Just Kiwis being Kiwis.
That's not
you know?
okay.
Look,
I mean, I'm in a weird place with this one because, like, we're not trying to pretend like it was a credible sport, are we?
What?
Like, that's the
MMA?
No. The problem I have with power slap is we're trying to pretend like it's a credible sport. It's not. It's not a thing, and shouldn't exist. Just a bunch of guys deciding to get together and beat each other up. That's their choice. As long as we're not pretending like it's.
I mean, these guys are. I think they know what they're signing up
there's
for.
there's a difference here. Is that you're trying to pass it off like it's sport, and it's not sport.
No,
it's
I'm
just,
not. I'm just saying
a bunch of guys.
This is what's going. This is what Dan Hooker's up to.
Fighting in a backyard. Like, I don't know, man. I did things like that when I was 20. Show up to a buddy's party and he'd be like, "Hey, put the boxing gloves on," and I'd be like, "Why?" And then he'd say, "Because we're gonna fight." And I'd be like, "Okay." Like I go with it.
I think he's still out. It's like still actively going. Yeah, I guess he had one earlier today. Yeah, it looks like.
How many of these is he doing?
Well, I mean, it's a 32-man tournament, battle royale here.
But if it's only 1 minute, it feels like it shouldn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, these guys are getting. I mean, it's just constant action. That's what.
Oh,
At
so
least this is what he's posting on.
So they
on
need
the
a
internet
day
right
to
now.
recover from there.
Yeah, we had a 355
Yeah,
pounder.
I mean, like
versus a 345 guy.
At some point, I guess if
you're
you're an authority in where is this, New Zealand or Australia? Which one?
New Zealand.
If you're an authority in New Zealand, you probably need to check in on it and be like, "Hey, anybody dying? Anybody? Anything we got to deal with?" Like, I know we all love the idea of Fight Club. But
We're watching 345 versus 355 right now. And
no, we're not.
they're just
We're
throwing.
not
we're
watching.
throwing,
Don't.
throwing coconuts right
we're
now.
not. We're not doing. We're not doing that.
Just wait for the finish.
No.
This is
no.
This is a good
not
one.
wait for the finish. No.
It's they're 15 seconds.
No. No.
Oh.
Yeah. See, Alex is into it.
How could you not be?
Whoa.
How could you not like this sport?
It's not a sport.
This is a sport.
They're wearing
It's
UFC.
not
I mean,
a
no, they're not
sport.
power
Dan Hooker's
slapping.
giving them
They're
his UFC
just
gloves. They're just
guys.
They're slugging it out.
And they love it.
That's
50K.
fine.
They
Again,
love it. This is
they're
love
getting-
for the game.
They're getting paid more than the UFC fighters.
That part also true. Yes, that's
Probably.
100% true.
I mean, one guy's
Well,
going to win
no, the
50,000.
one guy's getting paid more than UFC.
After he
fighters.
beats up
Yeah, yeah.
24
The other guys are
other
just
people.
the other guys are getting free brain damage.
This 345-pound tank.
Yeah.
A little bit of brain damage never hurt.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no big deal. No biggie. What's some light brain damage among friends?
We got a good old Apex card this weekend. Macy Barber versus Aaron Blanchfield in a 125 title eliminator here.
I've heard of none of these people.
They're both these girls will be around for what they've been around now for the last couple of years, but they're like younger. They're in their 20s. This is the future of the flyweight of the women's flyweight division. It's a very good fight. I'm looking forward to it. Just unfortunately it's in the Apex, so there's just going to be very little fanfare around it because it'll be a good fight. It's probably going to go the distance, but it's good because both these women are very technically skilled. So, it is what it is. The UFC.
I think it'd be fun if these fighters like petitioned to have like childhood backyard fights added to their career
You heard of Street
record,
Beefs?
right? Like,
Oh, yeah. You heard of Street Beefs?
What's Street Beefs?
Street Beefs is another one of these.
You gotta see Street
Beefs
Beefs.
is the best. When I was in college,
It's local here. They're around here.
This is the type of stuff that when I was your age, I'd be like, "Oh, this is amazing," and then I had to realize that like these people are paying permanent prices for something that they're not really making any money doing. And
But where are you not paying a permanent price for any sport?
Again, if it's sanctioned, I have no problem with that. If it's sanctioned, like you play lacrosse, there's rules for it.
Yeah.
There's a governing body.
Well, they're only going a minute here.
There was a teenager in New Zealand that died like the other day. Just the run it straight game where there's like two guys and they just get a rugby ball and they run straight.
Quite aware.
He just died. The teen died in New Zealand.
I got a lot of questions about whether or not Run It Straight should exist.
Yeah, that's a.
I have when I found out about it, I said to myself, this doesn't seem good.
It's just love of the game.
Somebody can say, "Oh, it's basically a Oklahoma drill." Well, there's a reason we kind of got rid of Oklahoma drills too. Like,
and you only do it for 2 weeks out of the season.
There's a reason why that's not a thing. Like we have to We have to have Boy, I really do sound big government today, right? Like, we have to have rules.
Yeah.
We have to.
Are you announcing your candidacy for the next
no.
for the next election?
Not a chance in hell. No.
You want to run for mayor, maybe?
Want to know mayor of what?
The city.
Baltimore?
Towson.
No, I don't even live in Baltimore. How would I run for mayor of Baltimore?
Do you have to live in Baltimore?
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to be the mayor of Baltimore.
The mayor of Moncton?
I'll be the mayor of Moncton. I might be the mayor of Moncton. Who knows how that works? They just assign somebody one week, like, all right, you're in charge now. God, I think there are towns and cities where that's the rule. Like, everybody's got to be the mayor for a minute. No, I'm gonna be all right.
The co-main. I mean, this is a good card this weekend. The UFC card. It's a good card. I mean, the problem is there's just nobody. There's no broad appeal to it. Like, typically you're gonna have 3 or 4 fights where like there's a favorite of -500.
We gotta move
all
on.
These are close. Why? Where are we going?
We gotta end the show.
The music's still playing. I still got time.
Quick.
I still got time.
Quick.
Mateus Gamrot versus Ludovic Klein is the co-main. A fun matchup at 155. I'm looking forward to that one as well. You know, again, close on the odds. Gamrot a slight favorite. I like this one to go the distance. So that'll be the parlay I'll throw out. I'll throw out Plant by knockout, Gamrot Klein to go the distance.
All right.
Plus 100 there is
you get even money.
those. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it should be good fights. The problem is it's just in the Apex, and so the UFC's telling us not to care. UFC 316 is next weekend. The only news kind of right now is that Merab posted a video kind of jokingly on his story this week. He's fighting Sean O'Malley for the title in a week. That he a video of his toe, broken pinky toe. So not good for that. Although he was laughing in the video, it didn't look very good though. Merab though is kind of his nickname is the Machine.
What was the fight? What was the fight when John Jones?
This video could have also been from like 3 months ago. So
what was the fight when John Jones like looked down in the post-fight interview? He just like looks down. He's like, that's not good. And then like. Rogan looks down and is just like, because they realized like his toe was like hanging off his foot. What was? And I think
was that against Chael?
I don't remember.
Let's see. John Jones gruesome toe injury versus Chael. So yeah. This looks like it. This looks like it. This might be it.
It was awful. But he didn't even notice it until the post-fight interview.
His face. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He looked down
God,
and he's like, that's not good. 2013.
Ew. Was
That's
that in Baltimore? That was not in Baltimore. Who did he fight in Baltimore?
Glover Teixeira is who he fought in Baltimore.
Yeah. That was the fight before that, probably.
Not pleasant to look at, and like apparently it didn't even happen at the end of like, I think he won in the first round, and so the thought was that like if the fight had gone beyond the first round, he might not have been able to continue. He probably wouldn't have been able to continue, but he finished the fight in the first round, and then he's just casually getting ready to do an interview with Joe Rogan, and all of a sudden he just looks at, no, not great.
I'm trying to play it for the folks.
I don't know if they want to see this one.
Oh yeah,
it's not that. It's not like the camera zooms in on it. You just kind of see that he's. It's the reaction that people want to see.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's one. But from the days when I was much more in tune with the UFC at that part of my life. I remember that one very fondly. Like, got it?
Yes, we're watching
okay.
now. But yeah, so John.
Anything else?
There was one other thing I think I wanted to talk about. Boxing. Other boxing news are Dan Rafael shared yesterday that so Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney were supposed to. Get this off the screen now.
All right.
Devin Haney. So this was the tweet he shared yesterday. Per 3 sources, Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney agreed to a fight Tuesday night, but was not signed for August in Riyadh. However, the fight is now in jeopardy now because Teofimo Lopez went on a manic tweet storm last night and called out Turki Al-Sheikh, and so people are wondering if now the Teofimo Lopez Devin Haney fight will be in jeopardy for later this summer. So we'll see if
great.
He called Turki Al-Sheikh a dictator, but spelled Dick the Dick part.
Very clever.
Yes.
How clever.
So that was the response to the whole Ryan Garcia debacle. That Haney will fight Teofimo Lopez now. We'll see if that even happens. So,
all right.
So
very good.
So UFC Apex this weekend. Boxing also in great shape.
Yeah, it's basically what Griffin. I was saying at the start. Griffin says nothing really going on. All right, that's fighting words.
I just told you, there's lots going on.
Fighting words. Let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you by the Print Tissue Press Box, still available at your neighborhood Royal Farms and the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. On the cover, Luke Jackson's great story about the hard road back from Tommy John surgery for Felix Bautista. Tyler Wells, Kyle Bradish, among others. Go pick that up today. PressBoxOnline.com as well as where you can read it. What you got?
So Tyrese Halliburton, that game the other night that we were talking about, the 32. What do you have? He had 32, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 0 turnovers. So that was the first. Oh, because then I think there was some other qualifier in there. It is just the third game ever, playoffs or regular season, of a player scoring 30 points, 15 assists, and 12 rebounds, and 0 turnovers. Just the third game ever in NBA history.
You trying to get me to name the other ones?
Yeah, they were recent. Both other guys are still active.
Both other guys are still active. Steph.
Not Steph. Probably the rebounds part. Maybe even the turnovers, too.
I mean, yeah. Jokic,
32, 15, and 10 as well, and 0 turnovers.
Giannis.
Not Giannis.
No turnovers. Tatum.
Not Tatum.
Doncic.
Mm-mm. Say it how it's pronounced, actually. Donkovic.
I know. I really enjoyed. Who did that? Who did the Doncic? Like, who did the
Donkovic? Well, Drew always says.
No, but he's doing that.
Oh, somebody else says Donkovic.
Yeah, no, there was somebody like on TV that gets his name wrong all the time.
Is it Kendrick Perkins? I don't know.
No, it's like a Chris Russo type, like somebody like that constantly gets his name wrong. Durant, LeBron.
Mm-mm.
Christ.
No, not Jesus Christ.
Well, his jumper's kind of off.
Gavin Sheets hit a home run yesterday.
He did.
And the announcer called it, he said, "Holy Sheets."
Not bad. Recent. Active. Jimmy Butler.
Not Jimmy Butler.
Kawhi.
Not Kawhi.
Wow. 10 rebounds.
He actually had 14 in this game.
He had 14 in this game.
He had 30, 15, and 14 rebounds, and no turnovers.
Problem is, like, Anthony Edwards. Problem is, like, anybody can get 10 rebounds. Like, that's why when we dismiss Steph Curry, like, 10 rebounds can just hop to you. Tyrese Halliburton doesn't typically
and
get.
Jokic are the other two.
Yes, Tyrese Halliburton doesn't usually get 10 rebounds. So it really doesn't eliminate anyone. But, like, the 0 turnovers makes you want to say it's a big because there's less. But is it a big? There we go. Jamal Murray.
No.
Kyrie.
First name starts with a J.
First name starts with a J. Jalen Brunson. God. Jalen Brown. He said it's not a big.
You're almost there, yeah.
It's not Joel Embiid.
Nope.
I already said Jimmy Butler.
Not Jimmy Butler.
Who else starts with a J? I almost wish you wouldn't have told me that because now I'm like obsessed with it. Who else's name starts with a J? I don't think it's Jarrett Jack.
No, not Jarrett Jack.
I don't
He
think
came
he's still
close one
active.
time. He had one turnover though. I know that
we're-
ruined it for him.
I don't want to tell that. I don't want to tell you. We're working on a Carmelo Anthony project right now, and I'm tracking down some people that were connected with. Somehow I came across a story that was written in the New York Post about Carmelo Anthony's upbringing in Baltimore, and one of the people they quote is Jarrett Jack. And I'm like, what does Jarrett Jack have to do with Baltimore? And the sentence says, Jarrett Jack's from another side of town. And I said, Jarrett Jack's from D.C., And it makes me realize that the author of the story just saw that Jarrett Jack was born in the state of Maryland.
For Washington, of course.
And had, like, no idea that it has nothing to do with it was unbelievable.
Well, it's what, 25 miles as the crow flies?
Said he's from the other side of town. Like another town?
Well,
yeah.
They played on the Nuggets together, so Oh, wait, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
No,
he was one of those drafted by the Nuggets.
I think this was Jarrett Jack happened to be playing like for the Nets at the time, so it was easy for the New York writer to get over to get a quote. It was like the only other guy that was in the range that was from Maryland. So it was like, I'll talk to Jarrett Jack. So dumb.
Bulls Carmelo's last year. They might have overlapped in New York.
I still didn't get this. I still need a J person.
Yeah, you did.
One of the Jalens. Jalen Suggs.
No
Jalen
Jalens.
Green. Jalen Williams.
Second letter is an A, though.
Second letter is an A. So it's not Julius Randle. Second letter is an A. James Harden?
James Harden.
Really?
Yep.
I guess that makes sense.
Careful with the basketball.
He did get.
I mean, yeah, I had a few other Tyrese Halliburton themed ones, but I guess
No,
we're good.
that
I guess
was
we're
difficult
good.
enough, and it's
Guess we're good.
12:27. Let's go ahead. Tubular.
Okay, everybody, it's going to be quick today.
What was the main focus today, Coach?
Fundamentals, ball control. It's always huge.
Any early thoughts on the competition this year?
Well, look, this is the best of the best players in the world. It's going to be an amazing tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. What are you guys talking about? All they ever ask me about is football.
All right, here's what's coming up tonight. Obviously, the Orioles are off, so they can't lose. Got that going for us, which is nice. French Open right now on TNT and True TV. Then tonight, Pacers-Knicks game 5 at 8 o'clock as the Knicks try to stave off elimination and force a Game 6 back in Indianapolis. On ESPN, the Oilers and Stars game 5 at 8 o'clock from the Western Conference Finals as Dallas looks to do the same. Masson, Nationals, Mariners, 9-4. Although I guess that game wouldn't be in Indianapolis. I'm assuming they wouldn't play Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals between the Stars and Oilers in Indianapolis, but I've seen crazier things. Nationals, Mariners, 9:40 on Masson and FS1. MLB Network, Braves, Phillies, 6:45. MLB TV, the free game is Athletics, Blue Jays at 7:07. Amazon Prime Video for Wings Sky at 8 o'clock. Round 1 of the Memorial on the Golf Channel at 2 o'clock. And TNA Impact at 8 on Access TV. Non-sports?
An episode of Welcome to Wrexham. Season 8 premiere of Jersey Shore Family Vacation on MTV.
Hell yeah, brother.
I know you'll be sitting down at 8
Can't
o'clock
miss
for that one. HBO Max, we have Hacks.
I wish I could tell you that there's no chance I'll ever watch it. I absolutely will end up watching it at some point in my life.
Season 4
I think I'm like 3 seasons behind on Jersey Shore, but I'll watch them. They're just terrible at their streaming. Like you can only watch them like on the MTV website or some crap like that.
Gotcha. They don't have like a Roku app or something?
Paramount Plus, you would think, but they're like 2 seasons behind on Paramount Plus.
You're already a couple seasons behind anyway.
Yeah,
so
right.
That doesn't really affect you. Season 4 finale of Hacks on HBO Max tonight. New episode of Poker Face on Prime Video. We got the Better Sisters, a new show on Prime Video.
What makes them better?
Who's
determining
the
that?
Better Sister. So 2 sisters here. It's based on a novel.
Okay.
I'm
out. I regret asking.
It's called an electric filler.
Okay.
Sure. Thriller, electric thriller.
Might be both.
Jessica Biel's in it. Corey Stoll, who was the bad guy in Ant-Man. Ant-Man 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the bald guy, and then he gets murdered. Actually, I think Corey Stoll is the one that gets murdered.
I really regret.
And Elizabeth Banks is in it as well. So Jessica Biel and Elizabeth Banks are.
This is what she's doing instead of making more cocaine bears. Not happy about that.
Well, maybe
make 6 more cocaine bears.
Maybe she is working on it. We don't
I
know.
hope.
Yeah.
Can only hope.
She's got to pay the bills some other way.
Need more of those.
Ricky Gervais and Caitlin Deaver and Callie Uchis will be on Jimmy Kimmel.
Plugging Fantastic Four.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're very excited about it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
That it?
Yeah. That's
all right. Very good. Thanks today to Jim Traber. Thanks also to Erik Kratz and to Keagan Gillies. And we'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the.
Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive.
Let's go,
Thank
Max.
You,
You're the best wrestler alive.
GlenClarkRadio.com. Tomorrow.
Peter Schmuck will join us.
Yeah, we're going to try to do a little bit of a tribute to Jim Henneman. Stan will be joining, I think, via Zoom, and then we're going to try to do a bit of it. I'm going to go over it. There's viewings today for those of you that loved Jim Henneman, loved his work. Today we're celebrating his life. The details are viewings from 2 to 4 p.m. and from 6 to 8 p.m., although the 6 p.m. viewing will also run into a memorial service tonight at 7 o'clock at Ruck Funeral Home here in Towson. So I'm going to try to get over there tonight and pay my respects to an absolute legend, utter legend. And tomorrow we'll do a little bit of a tribute to Jim Henneman on the show. Is that it?
Yes.
Dynamite.
I mean, it's not it.
So, what do you mean? No, it's not?
I mean, there'll be stuff and things. Well,
Thanks everybody at Pressbox, all of our great sponsors.
You mean start throwing
and
out stuff I'm
partners.
working on, or
I would like to just Game Day Men's Health, Owings Mills. Thanks also to Live Casino and Hotel, the BMW Championship, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Baltimore's Classic 5 Golf Courses, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Costas Inn, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Thursday evening. Go nobody. Duke sucks. Ciao,